All right. We're good. We're live. I mean, like, just live, but we're live. I see everybody in. We beat the loading boss.
Huzzah!
Huzzah. Huzzah. Welcome back, everybody. Good to have everybody here on this lovely Wednesday. So Rain and I did a very brief, kind of mini session in between to hash out some things between characters, such as Eris's awkward proposal, and some questions for Aurora. So now, without necessarily having that taking over other players' time, I thought it was great, and I think if anybody else would like to do any sort of like one-off like that, if they want to talk more with a character or flesh out things, I'm pretty flexible. And it's really at this stanza of the music when it is at like full blast. I'm like, why is the music so loud at this one point? It's good, but damn, beyond the frost barrier, calm down.
It reminds me of how, like, they'll kick up the sound when action happens, or for, like, most bizarre, like, during the credits at the end of a show, so you're watching, and then all of a sudden the credits are, like, at 80 decibels for no goddamn reason.
I hate that. I hate when it does that during commercials, too. I'm watching a show, and it's perfectly fine, and it goes to commercial, it's like... Hey, everybody, do you like fucking cheese?
Call J.G. Wentworth. It's your money.
No, I don't need it now.
Yeah, like, in action scenes. Drives me crazy. I have the TV at a specific volume for a reason, streaming services. I don't need you to make my shows more exciting for me, thanks.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. That's inconvenient.
We're old.
Yep. How dare I am mildly inconvenienced. Alright. Well, welcome back, everybody. Instead of our usual snowy background, where I am going to lecture you all on what we did last session, this session will be, well, a little more exploratory. You're at a point in your story where things could go multiple ways. When we left off, you had just returned to the Audacity after defeating Victoria Vicadis and putting a stop to her strange bubble plane that was trying to summon, or at least open a doorway into the Nine Hells. And with that all said and done, at least for the time being, the Lunistes, the once, despised and overthrown house, is now back to claim the Maginoc's throne for themselves. But the young, Dampier, Eris Lunesti, has posed an interesting question to Rain, and has asked for her hand in marriage. After some discussion about the nature of transactional relationships, things have been cleared up between the two. And now as you all fly high above the city of Polaris, deciding what your next steps are, you can talk with your crew, or the terrified tourists that you've rescued, or the vampires that you have procured from Victoria's basement. There are also some small goblin weavers who are all huddled together on a pile of hay, with the cranky bugbear, Rowley. Laryl seems to have taken to herself in the kitchens, and is enjoying her quiet time while she does menial tasks around the Audacity. Alara's new pledge to House Lunesti the moon sage Callie, now released from her hold from Victoria's Borean shards that were embedded in her head, is a little bit out of sorts, but Aurora has assured Rain that Callie would be able to answer any questions that the members of the Audacity may pose. As for the rest of you, you can decide what you'd like to do next, as there are many options available to you. You know of the region that holds the final, don't say it, don't say MacGuffin. I will. He said it, shenanigans! Ooh! Don't say it.
We're not bluffing, it's a MacGuffin.
We've already established that they're Micmacs.
From my get that moonblade out. Which is an Aurelia, traded for a gift for a fickle and mercurious fairy lord. Akashaba just wants steak and longs for better days in the cold mountains of Borealis. And Rain, well, I guess we'll find out now just exactly what Rain wants. And Flix, well, Flix is going to do whatever Flix is going to do. But Bonsai is new here, and all of these people are strange, and each have their own desires. Will this change the young Dryad Sylvan Tree Man's mind? Alright. That's where we'll start today, as we return to the hull of the Audacity. It's been, some time. I would say, a long rest has passed. And you all are reconvening and mulling about, going about your day-to-day, and now deciding, well, what exactly you'd like to tackle next. Everyone now, please take a long rest. You have deserved it.
Why am I making it concentration? Oh. What am I concentrating on?
I don't know, it's a good question.
Akashaba walks up and kind of like leans on the wall against where Laryl is sat, and he looks over. You know, I actually forgot to ask. Now that he's, well, and he looks over at Bonsai. Gone, sort of? Did you actually have thing for Saitius?
She tilts her head at Akashaba. That is a very interesting question to pose. I did not find him atrocious to look at.
But personality-wise.
I did not know him very well. He seemed flighty or flippant. Those things can be tempered appropriately. I dare ask, where is the young Saithius? Normally I see him lingering about near the, closets. It's rather easy to find.
Akashba points over past Rain to Bonsai. So I think we haven't really discussed it much. Actually, Bonsai, can you come here for a minute?
Certainly, Akashba.
Bonsai, do you remember this woman? And he points at Laryl.
Bonsai looks very closely into her eyes. I don't believe I remember anything about you. Hi, I'm Bonsai, first of all. Nice to meet you.
Bonsai?
I am getting a sense that you may have had some sort of additional connection, though. Is that correct?
You once upon a time, as Saitius knew her.
We were briefly acquainted. well, through conflict. I dare
I'm not
say
sensing
I'm...
conflict here. I think I'm sensing more of an influence from maybe something darker.
You are not wrong, Bonsai. It's very perceptive of you. Unfortunately, I came under possession of a foul devil from the depths of the nine hells, a demon of desire that caused me to lose a lot of things that meant a great deal to me.
Very sorry to hear that, and did not intend to bring up any negative memories. Perhaps in the future we can discuss this more, and maybe you can help me with what I believe my quest is.
And what is that?
Yeah,
Well,
what
I'm
is that?
still trying to figure that out, but just before I guess I awoke and saw all of this rest of crew, Rain, Akashaba, and Duke Flix over there, um, I saw something else as well, and it was very clear that I need to quest out and find a little bit more about what Tiamat and the evil of Tiamat is doing to this land and to Arctis, and I guess I need to even figure out what is Arctis. So there's a lot to be figured out, but I can kind of feel like I have a sense of what is in the right direction and what is in the wrong direction, and you feel like you might be in the right direction.
Akashba looks over at Laryl.
So is everyone getting married now?
Married? What do you mean, Flix?
Are you asking what marriage is, or are you asking if... What are you asking?
I don't think I was asking anything. I was trying to answer Akashaba's question, but maybe I did not do so clearly.
Wait,
No,
am
you-
I being unclear, or are you being unclear?
No, you don't. So, Bonsai, maybe you don't remember Flix well from your time as atheist, but Flix is a consummate prankster and will oftentimes kind of interrupt conversations glibly if he is not getting enough attention.
That's
No.
exactly correct.
Apologies to kind of take the direction a different way here, but Akash, but this is not the first time that you said that I am remembering things as Saithius. I don't know if that is actually true. There's nothing of the Saithius as you describe them that I feel like is inside me.
Oh, well, it's... Akashba kind of looks around. I guess I don't really understand. I just... You appear right as Saithius disappears, and it kind of seems like if you just put 3 and 3 together, you get, Saithius into Bonsai. So I just assumed, but maybe that is not the case.
A different presence, but a similar body. Have you gone through any, well, strange magical fluctuations lately? Any strange changes? She looks Sai up and down.
I don't recall anything before about 9 hours ago, so I can't answer that fully, but since then I feel like a sense of tranquility, which was very different than 8 to 9 hours ago. Is that what you're asking about?
Laryl turns to Akashaba. You are probably aware that there are various ways for people to come back to Arctis, and that there are those called reborn who have died and, well, they come back, sometimes in the same body, and sometimes in a different one.
That's little. I'm familiar with many strange things since coming to Maginox. I think I've heard this before, but I don't know of anyone so far who is reborn, except maybe now Bonsai.
But he's not quite dead. He clearly has the spark of life to him. I wonder. She leans over towards Catherine. Perhaps you might want to talk to her.
Also, just throwing it out there to the rest of the group, but like anyone paying attention may notice that like as much as Akashba's been like kind of a dick every time Catherine has spoken, he's like actually like reasonably polite to Laryl.
Wait, did Catherine say something? I'm very attentive.
No, I'm just kind of throwing that out above board. Like if anyone was kind of like paying attention to that.
Oh, well, yeah, one's an elf and you're racist against the vampire, we know.
Look, maybe the audience will appreciate it.
That one's for the viewers
we
at
know you're
home.
racist, Uncle Akashba.
Akashba looks into the camera. That's for you.
Akashba. Lara looks up at you.
Nah.
Now that we've gotten rid of whatever demon has plagued my body, is that something that you are going to pursue further?
Exorcising demons from bodies.
No, but the origins of them, where they're coming from. I don't even know the exact moment and when I lost myself to the desire. But it must have been in a moment of great weakness.
Oh, I had not really considered it. And he kind of looks over at Rain. And he kind of like leans closer to Laryl, like trying to whisper, but not really. Normally, I just follow Rain around, but with all of this talk of marriage, maybe soon Akashba will have to strike off on own journey.
Laryl nods. These demons that threaten Arctis, and that what, well, Bonsai says he has returned for, are true and a real threat. And they take on many forms. Please.
Akashba looks over at Bonsai. What do you say? You and me make new bodyguard story about roaming world destroying demons, eh?
If it's good for me to support your story, I'm open to that, of course. Destroying demons sounds right, as long as they're the right demons.
Akashba kind of shrugs and nods.
I don't really know what's going on exactly. I thought we were on a ship, but then I looked around and realized we were in the air. So where are we going? And
Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point. I guess it's kind of taken for granted you would just know things that Saithius would know, but as you say, that is not true, so...
Alara
what's to
stands up.
begin?
Why don't we all take a seat around the table? It's good that we catch up a little bit and perhaps share a tale or two.
I wonder if perhaps we might make some sort of contact with Saithius' departed spirit so that his memories can be shared with Bonsai, since they share some physical essence at the very least. Hopefully his spiritual essence hasn't been destroyed.
Get over here, you must come too.
Eris glares at Laryl enough to leave and gestures the seat for Rain.
Oh, there's a special seat for Rain? Wait.
Just next to Eris.
Oh. Don't even be weird about it, Laryl.
Akashba continues holding up his hand, frantically gesturing at Harkin.
Harkin,
come on! Everyone coming to table!
I'm sorry, I'm
Oh, should we get snacks? I feel like we should have snacks.
Yeah, what is snack situation on ship nowadays?
The kitchen actually looked pretty good. Like, well stocked.
Laryl glances down and blushes slightly.
Was that your doing, Laryl?
I've been tending to the kitchen. It's one of the things I used to enjoy doing was growing a garden under the moonlight. Cooking some of the herbs that came from it. It brings me a small joy now.
I will go look for snacks for us.
Well, I think that's absolutely delightful, and your efforts are greatly appreciated. Provided that the snacks are delicious. Bring me delicious snacks, Cosmo, please, thank you!
You open the door, it's two vampires.
Yeah. Oh, wrong room.
No.
I actually don't know where the kitchen is.
That's
You
unfortunate.
reflexively burst into sunlight.
Oh, I see where the kitchen is. I see it. Okay.
It's not like blood stained with like random body parts strewn about it anymore.
Akashaba, as you open the door, you see a bushel full of fresh, crisp apples, red and green.
Pass.
In the next barrel, there are more fruits, large figs in a massive barrel. You also see a big loaf of fresh, crunchy bread and a massive bushel of fresh vegetables. Pumpkins, onions, radishes.
Akashiba wanders around, like looking it all over, and then like goes over to the pot and lifts up the lid to look in there.
There's some mysterious sludge in there, Akashiba. Make me a perception check with advantage.
Mysterious sludge in the kitchen. This is exciting.
This is probably what they refer to as gruel, some sort of base meal, and then toppings and whatnot are added to it. It is gray and lumpy, and bubbles slightly.
Akashiba just wrinkles his nose, continues looking around. Does he find anything that looks like it is a meat?
A meat? There is one turkey leg sitting out. It is dried and salted.
Akashiba is going to pick it up.
Okay.
And he picks up the loaf of bread and proceeds to leave.
Okay.
I love that we just learned what Akashiba's definition of a snack is.
That's also just Rob's definition of a snack. Akashiba
I
suffers
know.
from me.
I know that.
Okay.
It's like, yes, salted meat and some bread.
No joke. I used to seriously, like, when I was super poor in Florida, I'd go to Walmart and just buy like a big thing of French bread for like 99 cents, and that would be my meals for the day.
I feel that.
Akashiba walks in, just chowing down on a turkey leg, and he football spikes the loaf of bread on the table. Oh, dig in, everyone.
Is that my dried ham?
Akashiba looks like mid-chew. Who asked that?
Laryl.
He looks over at Laryl and he actually looks like it looks like a little bit ashamed, and then kind of delicately removes his jaw from the ham.
That was, well, to be partitioned out for multiple meals, Akashiba. Perhaps you could add some pieces of it to the gruel and have it be more filling. There was still some bubbling in the pot when I left it.
Yeah. Okay. Akashiba kind of looks down. There's bite marks and pieces of it missing.
Oh.
Yeah, let me go.
No. We can get another salted ham.
Well, here. He kind of gingerly tosses the bread loaf down to her side of the table. I brought you some bread.
She looks at all the crumbs that it's left in its wake. Oh. She
We're
picks it up.
barbarians.
Perhaps one of the things we could work on, Akashiba, is manners and proper usage of utensils.
Akashiba nods and kind of says something unintelligible as he just resumes sawing into the ham.
Well, Alara clears her throat. Hello, everyone. I will introduce myself first for the sake of everyone here, but especially Bonsai. Welcome to the Audacity. I am Alara Lunesti. Oh, sorry, I was looking at what Flix is doing.
He casts Acquire Ham.
Acquire ham!
Wait, can I contest this? You can't just take my ham.
You must make a contested ham roll.
As you're sawing pieces off, I snatch a piece with Mage Hand. It can only lift 5 pounds. It would be very easy to contest.
Okay, as this happens, You notice that just for the briefest moment, Akashima looks feral as he sees this happening. But then, like, he looks at you and he's like, oh yeah, sharing is caring.
Flix grins at you and just opens his mouth, and the ham transports itself into his mouth.
Akashima turns his face towards Harkin and, like, right in Harkin's face, just eats the ham away from Flix.
Harkin, like, nods and understands. Yeah, buddy, that's your ham. Yeah.
No, thank you, Harkin.
Yeah,
It's my
yeah.
ham.
You deserve this.
Thank you.
You work hard. Treat yourself.
I should have it. What business
you
of
should
it
have
is
this.
that what I do with my ham?
Yeah, treat yourself. Clearly. We can eat the slop.
Akashima nods vigorously and returns to eating the ham.
As, well, former head of the Lunesti household, it was a part of my job in the other houses of Maginox to keep Maginox safe. Maginox, as you are aware, is in the region of Polaris, which is blanketed in eternal night. And for, well, someone of your stature, I understand that may be difficult. But, Polaris was not such an organized place long ago. There was, a man with a vision. His name was Lucari Polaris. And he wanted nothing more than the creatures of the night to give up their self-centered tendencies and finally come together in mutual collaboration, while still understanding that some of us have needs that must be met through, well... Catherine clears her throat. Some of us are vampires, Bonsai, and we must subsist on the blood of others to survive. And Alara nods. Individually, creatures of the night can seem frightening or scary, as one does not see what is coming or what lurks in the darkness. Maginox was a symbol of some light in that darkness, and that we peeled away the vicious facade of many of these creatures of the night, and we built a city that was based on collaboration and understanding and giving as opposed to taking. Maginox was to be a city of revelry in the night, where those that wished the privacy in the blanket of darkness would have it, and those that wished to gaze into the stars and wonder what was beyond would pursue it. Lucari Polaris was a reborn. He had come back to Arctis through no desire of his own, but he saw that many others like him were confused, discombobulated, and they didn't understand what their newfound place was in this world. And over many painstaking years and many ordeals, we founded Polaris, no longer a terrifying region where creatures of the night roamed freely, feasting on others, but a more civilized place, where people could come and decide if they wanted to freely give or partake in some debaucheries that are normally best left to the darkness. Unfortunately, jealousy, well, Many other factors led to dissent within the houses. Lakari wanted a multitude of voices from the night to participate in this council, as we all had different wants, different needs, and different desires. The blood-drinking vampires, for one, did not want to be seen as ravenous beasts, but still, they must subsist on the blood of others to survive, while the drow have decided to once again return from the deep darkness under Arctis, and to once again partake and dance under the moonlight. There are other creatures of the night. Beastmen, goblins, hobgoblins, other things that just prefer the dark. And we wanted to give them a place where they did not have to fight to survive, but could be given employment, their services, honest work returned for gold. And Maginox bloomed. Forgive my figure of speech. But unfortunately, she looks at Laryl. We did not know that a darker presence was afoot. That creatures from the Nine Hells were actively trying to impose themselves on higher members of this house. Slowly and insidiously working their fingers, working their way into our daily dealings. And for what? We had no idea. We thought it was merely a grab for power. A dissenting Victoria finally, well, gone mad to her basal desires. But it was far, far worse than that. We learned that Victoria was trying to not only use this blood and other things that were given freely to vampires, but hoarding it, taking more than they needed. Much, much more than they needed. And blood and soul and mind, these things all have power. And she was utilizing it to open a gate, an entryway into the Nine Hells, where the insidious Queen Tiamat currently resides. And this great being, this dark Queen Tiamat, would like nothing more to escape her bonds and to devour her progeny. One of those progeny being Arctis, the very ground, the very being we walk on, is much more than simply a landmass, a continent. We stand on the back of a much larger being, something greater than ourselves, or even the bulk of us. And this great cosmic dragon, these dragons, Tiamat, Arctis, they are not like the dragons that you have perhaps seen in books or encountered on your adventures. They are merely impossible to conceptualize their power and size. They are continuations of life, each with a different purpose. Arctis's purpose, as it travels the stars, through the ages and through the cosmos, is to merely keep a repository of all experiences, all memory, from where it lands next. An age will come and go with Arctis in its current place, and we will all be long gone when Arctis continues its journey across the cosmos. But this repository of knowledge that Arctis keeps is the sum of all of our experiences, our feelings, our thoughts, our desires, our loves, and all of those things when our time has come and we pass to the next realm. Return back to Arctis. And we become a part of this constant stream of life. And some have been blessed enough to return again, a reborn. So you see, this is much bigger than, well, you or I or all of us in this room. For what Victoria wanted initially was a key to the Great Ice Library. But that is not merely a key to a repository of books, knowledge, and tomes. No, it is a key to Arctis's mind itself. And when you have access to a sea of memories of eons past, it is dangerous and forbidden knowledge for even a single mortal to comprehend. Laura sighs and continues. Forgive me. Do you have any questions for me so far?
Well, just to make sure that I'm following correctly, and if everyone would prefer to just be quiet and save questions for the end, I'm fine with that too. But it sounds like we need to go to the Nine Hells and find this Tiamat and destroy them. Can anyone take us there?
Alara shakes her head. One of the purposes of the Ascended, the greater beings, the once mortals but now gods that have gone to another plane, have dedicated themselves to the preservation and the protection of Arctis. And with Tiamat active and on the hunt for her progeny, Arctis had to add additional protections in order to ensure that Tiamat could not incur upon his realm. And so the Ascended had built a protective barrier around Arctis, one that unfortunately hampers teleportation magics within Arctis, or coming in and out of Arctis. Is that wall between worlds that the Ascended has reinforced and protected and guarded. But with Victoria amassing enough power and enough dark knowledge in order to make some sort of postulant plane in order to pierce that barrier. It takes a massive amount of power to attempt to do that.
Is there risk of that happening elsewhere?
She nods. I think anyone with enough power, desire, and influence could potentially once again weaken that wall between worlds in order to potentially allow denizens from the Nine Hells to creep in.
It's already happened. Several times, in fact.
Laura nods. Unfortunately, not all of them are malicious. There is the matter of the slow. You may have heard of it, but if you are unfamiliar, the slow is a blue lava. Was created by a terrible magical accident long ago, and has left a permanent scar on Arctis's landscape. And for some strange reason, this lava, this slow, it twists and corrupts the magic around it. And it makes it strange, unwieldy. And what we thought was merely something that was only relevant for the realm of Aesir, where this tragedy happened. But now we are hearing of traces of its influence in other regions, even as far south as Borealis. Is that right?
It is. It's also what allowed the Abishai to come through during Lucaris' ascension ceremony, I believe.
Again, another massive fluctuation of power.
Very much part of the reason why we need to attend to matters outside of Polaris, to be honest.
And that is understandable. With Victoria's pocket realm gone for now, that doorway, that weakening, should eventually and hopefully heal over time. But that is something that we should allow the Chosen to take care of. And we do have one of the Chosen, in fact, aboard our ship. Thorn has graced us with her presence. I'm sorry again, Bonsai. I speak of the Order of Beatrice's Chosen, are changeling warriors, paladins you may call them, that have a singular purpose: to harness the light and to banish any presence of the Nine Hells from Arctis.
No apologies required at all, and thank you for the additional information. It sounds very familiar to what I feel.
She nods. Their benefactor, their guiding light, Beatrice the Porcelain, was a strong-willed paladin with a singular purpose. And she was very good at what she did.
We actually met Beatrice once, albeit very briefly, he says, looking at Bonsai.
It was pretty great.
Yeah, she came and lit our way back to Borealis. It was really kind of crazy experience.
Some
So is
say
she still around here?
She is not. Beatrice ascended quite some time ago, but she is seen as a defender of the weak, an unrepentant agent of the light and of retribution.
And are you saying after they ascend, they go beyond Arctis?
Alara nods. Their mortal shells are vacated, and they ascend to a plane where their influence still lingers on Arctis, but their direct presence is fleeting.
Is it true that this ascension then is basically breaking that barrier that's protecting Arctis and could be a cause of Tiamat being able to break through as well?
Alara nods. It is the trouble in Borealis that does lend credence to that theory.
So it sounds like we need to stop these Ascended from gaining power. Also sounds like we need to prevent anyone else from gaining enough power individually to do what you said Victoria? What Victoria just did? So
Wait,
I mean,
wait. The Ascended are the good guys.
well, good or bad is irrelevant here. If they're creating a situation that is breaking this barrier that is protecting Arctis, that's the root cause of all of our issues, right?
Well, not necessarily. The entire point of the Ascended is that they protect Arctis. There was
They are the barrier.
Well, they
Right,
might
an
intend to
extent.
protect, but if they're causing a little bit to break through, that is now being used as a vehicle to let in a virus that is sounding like it's causing major problems.
right because the process got corrupt, not because they're bad. Does that make sense?
I believe
It
the
makes
chink in
sense
the
as a
armor
hypothesis.
is. I believe, and we don't know for sure, but I believe the chink in the armor is more that the Ascended have been weakened. Not that they're doing something themselves necessarily. Although, to your point, Bonsai, it could be possible. We've heard rumors of some of the Ascended having rivalries that are not necessarily on the up and up.
Yeah, I mean, even in Borealis, it's pretty well known that a lot of the sundering between Borealis and Rimia is because of direct confrontation between, the two ascended from, those regions. I hell, they got in such a huge fight that Forgrek's axe sundered a part of the world off so much that oh my god, I literally just forgot the name of my own NPC. Hold on.
Kyo?
Kyo. So much that in order to save the people, he lifted it up into the air so they wouldn't sink into the sea. And to some Goliaths, that's a show of strength. Oh my god, he cleaved a freaking mountain in half. He sundered a continent. The people of Rimia have a way different view on that, and they're kind of, they're not super friendly to outsiders, kind of for that reason. So
It is possible then that they are rogue ascended to an extent.
the mishap that some consider with Tessa Pulcanis, some have started to question the veracity of the Ascended, and wonder if their true purpose is necessary at all. But that I was very close to Lucari Polaris. He was my husband. Well, and he ascended. And when you ascend after you leave a legacy like that, they are hard shoes to fill, but we certainly tried. We understood that Lucari could also make a difference with Arctis. Alara looks down. She's clearly having trouble articulating this. Eris kind of pats her on the shoulder. Yeah? No, it's all right. I promise you, Bonsai, that the nature of the Ascended is one of sacrifice, and one not easily given away. Those that ascend leave behind friends, family, all for some mysterious higher cosmic purpose.
I understand that's your perspective, but I don't know if I fully trust that yet. Can Bonsai tell if they're telling the truth as they know it?
Uh, as you know it, Alara is being honest.
All right.
Regardless about the morality or ethics, I suppose, of the Ascended, Bonsai has made a rather astute point that the virus, as he calls it, the slow, is destroying Arctis, and it was released, perhaps not by an Ascended when she released it, but she is now an Ascended, and that is something that we must deal with.
That is true, but I don't think that she would stop us. In fact, rather than stop us, perhaps we need to find a way to make contact with her to find out how to stop it.
Well, I tried to do that, Flix, if you recall.
Yes, you went magnificently crazy. You could do it again.
Oh, was that
I
the whole
could.
bird episode? Oh, don't do that again.
But that is also why it's imperative that we find a way into the ice library to try and ascertain how she did what she did and if there is any way to reverse it.
And there's surely no way that we'd accidentally unleash a cataclysm almost as bad.
Of course not.
It is more likely if you were to go into the ice library without understanding the magnitude, the gravity of, well, the knowledge of existence. Alara just clears her throat and looks at the table. It
Looks like he's definitely taking this conversation seriously.
not meant to be taken lightly.
Oh, I'm not. It's just my face.
It does always look like that.
Indeed.
Just know that once you acquire the Moonblade and the final piece in order to access this library, I hope you have accumulated enough knowledge and experience to understand just what you are getting into, so you would be traversing not just into another plane, but into another mind, another being.
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. How is it that the Lunestes became the guardians of the Ice Library?
That is a very good question. I would not say we are direct guardians, but
Holders, we'll say. Or at least wardens.
Alara kind of leans back on her stool. I have mentioned this before, but I am what you would call a vampire of the dreaming. I and my line live very closely and walk a fine line between lucidity, memory, and reality. Namely, we are touched by the dreaming in a way that most Fae are. But however, we must subsist on it in order to survive.
Oh, so you don't drink blood, you drink dreams.
She nods.
Got it.
It is that kind of unique understanding that it is not just memory, but it is thought.
It's
And
rather
will.
worse in some ways. You must be very careful when feeding.
And so I do not want others that are like me but have chosen to take a darker path to she shakes her hand. I digress. I'm getting a little far from the point. We are guardians of the ice library, Arctis's memory. Just because we are closest to it, we understand the gravity of it. And I am in a unique position where I was close to Lacari Polaris, and he, through Arctis, had bequeathed this key upon not just myself, but the houses of Maginox. And unfortunately, as things grew tense and desires grew violent, he glances over at Laryl. I had to take it upon myself to attempt to retrieve the keys in order to prevent Victoria's access to the dreaming. Victoria wanted nothing more than access to the dream in the minds of others, and I know what unfettered access to an unprotected mind can do, and I could not let that happen. And I will admit to you, there are things that I have done that I do regret. That I had to do in order to get the knowledge I needed. Find these keys and to keep them safe. And I, in my unique abilities, are dangerous. And thanks to Catherine, she was able to keep me safe for time, as we decided what to do. After hiding away the various keys amongst the houses and those we trusted.
Would it be better to destroy the keys and make sure no one that shouldn't have access ever gets access?
It would be, but there are a couple special things about this ice library, aside from just the unfettered access to knowledge. As Lacari ascended, he, through Arctis, left us with a singular bit of knowledge. And if we, as houses and as Polaris, were to ever need the knowledge of Arctis, that we would have it available just once, where we could get an answer to a question that plagued us.
And we feel like the solution to the slow is that question.
Laura nods.
I mean, we can only do it once. We have to be really, really, really sure.
I
Like,
mean, it
We
seems
could
like a
ask,
pretty
what's
good
the meaning
question.
of existence?
What's the point of the meaning of existence if it all ends?
Well, it won't all end. You said that we're floating through a sea of stars. Surely there are other places like this one somewhere.
The slow has shown no signs of being stopped or dissuaded from its slow, insidious pursuit, I dare say even Zadia would not be safe, given
In-
enough time.
Some do believe that. Sorry, this is Laryl talking. Some that dwell underground do believe that this slow is just as much a part of Arctis as his blood. Some even believe that lava is the blood of dragons. This is something that the Vaki believe, not the Hamaki.
Or perhaps the slow is something new that's been introduced. We've already seen it have a corruptive influence upon certain individuals. Perhaps its intention is actually to corrupt a cosmic dragon like Arctis himself. Given enough time.
In our world, Arctis persists and lives and thrives off of magic. And the ley lines that run underneath Arctis like, well, webs or veins, however you would like to conceptualize it. But if that slow is tapping into those magical lines of power, it could have some sort of chaining effect. Slow, yes, and I do mean speed-wise. But magic works in mysterious ways. The slow even more so. It's unpredictable. And Arctis and the denizens of Arctis, all of us, Flix, Laryl, Rain, Eris,
I do
we are
appreciate
all
being
a part
listed
of this.
first.
Flix more than possibly all of us. You are a fae, a manifestation of mirth and magic. If anything, the slow would affect those closest to magic or who are magic first.
Oh, believe me,
Elementals or
I've been
fae.
within a few steps of slow in the past, and it's not an experience I'm eager to repeat.
There is no doubt that eventually that slow is reaching other continents, like Borealis. Or excuse me, Arctis. Then I do believe our desperate question we can ask the all-knowing dragon of Arctis should be, how do we stop the slow? As without the foundation of magic to rely on, there won't be an Arctis. And Tiamat will devour her progeny whole, all of us included.
You're speaking very certainly, but it sounds like you also have a lot of uncertainty with this information and with what we know about slow, what we know about the world, and what we know might or might not happen if we or you get access to this ice library. This doesn't feel right.
That is understandable. My knowledge is not absolute, but comes from the thoughts and feelings of others. That anxiousness, that unease. I may not be exactly correct on all of these things, but I have felt the nightmares of the magical, the terrors of the fae that can no longer fly. Creatures of magic, suffering strange ills, reborn, coming back with terrible nightmares, threatening to manifest out of the dreaming. The slow is affecting everything. the order of things.
I'm sorry, but how do we know it's the slow affecting everything, or if everything is affecting the slow?
Do you have some first-hand experience with the slow bonsai? It does
Don't
have
think
the...
so.
No, I said we do.
Oh.
It does have a corrupting influence on not only magic, but kind of the laws of reality itself. It's not very wide-reaching, mind you, but it does seem to be particularly attracted to magic, and it honestly seems like it flows with a kind of sentience, tracking down sources of magic currently through the ley lines that Alara just described. We've been to one of those nexus points ourselves, and it had been entirely corrupted with slow.
And those
And it
nexus
is-
points also tend to commonly be nests of crystal dragons.
Brings up an excellent point. We should certainly return to Borealis, but we should check on Prismata while we're there. Bonsai, she is a crystal dragon, prismatic dragon. What do we call them?
She's a crystal dragon.
She's a crystal dragon who was trying to stop the slow, and ultimately it corrupted her. And she's, we think, dying slowly, but I suppose we don't technically know what the end state of a slow infection actually is. Could be
It's-
something far worse.
Crystal dragons tend to be the, well, closest thing we have to understanding the nature of Arctis. Crystal dragons tend to make their nests on top of crisscrossing ley lines, focuses of power, and then their dens tend to generate crystalline growths that you may come to know as Borean shards. And these shards have the capacity to encapsulate, to hold the magics of Arctis within them, and to utilize them effectively. That is one of the blessings that as Arctis has given to us, is not just the utilization, but through his lesser children, the harnessing of magic in order for us, well, I will say mortals in a very loose term, but those that persist on this plane to lead interesting and fruitful lives. But these shards are rare, and friendships with crystal dragons even more so.
I see. So, well, I guess I have two questions. The first is, with this crystal dragon that you are trying to form a friendship with, are we going to her now? Can we speak to her and find out more about how we might be able to help? And then I guess my second question is, what if everyone just stopped using magic? Would that cancel out the issues that everyone's having?
Would you tell Flix to stop breathing? Or for Rain to stop dreaming? It is merely not so simple, Bonsai. Without magic, you would cease to exist. In fact, he looks around the room.
The
There's
world
not
would
a
be
single...
dreadfully boring without it, more importantly.
There would not be a single one of us who would persist without the mystical arts.
Koshaba might. Look at him. He's fuzzy.
Akashba's actually like his face is like on the table and like he looks like he's falling asleep.
Harkin is like, yeah, I bleed. I age. My birthday is in a couple months.
Speaking of
Oh.
Koshaba, my boy has a point. Knowing the whys are useful and all, but perhaps we should now consider the hows. Where are we going? What are we doing?
Is there any more turkey?
It
I believe
wasn't
it was
turkey,
ham,
it was
Akashaba.
pig.
One, it was ham.
Oh.
Two, it was cured and dried over a long period of time. Two, it was kind of... Three, it was kind of expensive.
So I'm guessing that was the only one then.
It was the only one.
Well, you know what? We could stock up while we're in Borealis. The butcher shop.
Yeah, let's go back to Borealis.
But to your I'd like to go back and address Bonsai's first point. Yes, we can go to Prismata. I don't know if she'll be in a state to speak to us, though.
Akashiba stands up, and you see him begin casting.
What?
What?
Are you gonna cast Hero's Feast?
Akashiba summons a whole platter full of hams.
Oh.
The most delicious holy hams.
Oh,
He
you
just-
stole. I was just about to say holy hams.
He makes his
Beat you
own
to it.
ham.
Great
How dare
minds.
you?
Like, I like to think that as he begins chanting, he holds out his arm, or he holds out his hand, and like a plate made of light just begins to appear. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, holy hams appear on this plate as he just watches, eyes wide.
Oh my
And, like,
god.
I'm picturing
Felix
Akashiba right now as,
drags
like, the
a
ghost of
holy ham
Christmas
off of
past.
the plate and begins gnawing on it.
Like from a
Akashiba
Muppets Christmas Carol, like just on a like fucking sea of like delicious smoked meats.
Oh, it
Akashiba
tastes
looks
like
over.
prosciutto.
Akashiba looks over at Laryl, and then, like, pushes the plate over towards the center of the table
Oh,
with a ham in his hand.
Errol's like, what? Did you conjure this food?
Meanwhile,
It's delicious.
the audience is just, let the man cook. Yeah.
Cook. What?
Yeah.
Delicious. You should try it. Honestly.
Akashiba nods, begins, like, biting down on the ham. Yeah, have some.
Well, all right.
Although, honestly, Akashiba, knowing that you could have just summoned infinite hams, perhaps you shouldn't have eaten the other one.
It's kind of new thing, really.
We can buy more ham, everyone.
Well, why would
Please.
we need to? Why would we need to?
It's not about the ham, it's about Laryl's feelings. This is her awakening as a person after who knows how long under the thumb of some archdemon.
And now she has a lot of ham.
This is a significant amount of ham.
Well, it doesn't keep well, so let's not be overly concerned that Akashiba is going to suddenly take over the kitchen, because I don't think that's going to happen.
Everyone, dig in.
Flix zips over to Laryl. Laryl, I was initially absolutely furious at you and said some very unkind things, but I support your rebirth as a person. He pats her shoulder and then zips back to his spot.
Why you have to make it so dramatic, Flix? Why can't you just be like, hey, Laryl doesn't suck anymore?
Boltwood. Oh,
Bullwood ash. Why does it say always for everyone? Never displayed ever.
So anyway, the what or whatever that Flix wants to dig into, I think we go back to Borealis. We take a little bit of time, maybe getting our bearings on this Mercurial Lord. Maybe
I don't think we're going to be able to go in crossbows blazing, as it were.
maybe we can
Does my
get an
crossbow blaze? How
invite
does
to
this
one of
thing
his lovely soirees. The
He
new
never
ruling
invites me. We'll have
house.
to find a way to sneak in.
The new ruling house of Maginox. Rain Eyes Eris.
That could work. The novelty
And
might be a
retinue.
trick.
Mm-hmm. Eris nods in agreement.
But while that happens, I think we can return to Borealis. I think we might want to spend some time and resources giving Esther the opportunity to do what Esther's been wanting to do this entire time, which is upgrade the Audacity. We are a little ragged in here for the number of people we keep taking on.
Well, that's true. We should have berths instead of storerooms at this point.
We have a sizable amount of gold we could put towards that effort, and I believe she would prefer to do it in Borealis, where she
and
has
armor
Lou's
plating, and
workshop.
we should mount that dragon skull to the front of the ship.
Yes, and also Akashiba's giant statue. Speaking of which, where were those? Did somebody bring them, like, down into the hull?
What, the giant dragon skull?
And the large, what was it, like a lion
I mean, like, oh
statue?
no, we threw those overboard. We thought that was an accident.
Oh, the bear statue?
Maybe
Yeah, it was
not.
a giant bear statue.
Yeah.
They're in here somewhere. I think I've locked them away in one of the side rooms.
Certainly hard to miss. But anyway, we should take some time and make sure that Bonsai is adequately equipped for our further adventures, and maybe spend a little bit of time on Borealis, a little R&R before we get this invite to the Mercurial Lord. Can do some research in the meantime.
Oh, yes, that reminds me. Flix, produces a beautiful longsword from his satchel that should not fit. Do you think this is something that you would enjoy, Bonsai? It produces a silver flame on command.
I don't know if anyone enjoys weapons or anyone.
I
sane of
definitely
mind.
enjoy weapons. You can stop that train of thought right there. I love them.
Yes.
But
Are
do you think
you a little influenced by Tiamat yourself?
I'm not so into dragons per se. Look, it's pretty. Do you
Is this
want
bitch
it?
about to start a crusade?
If and it looks to Rain for reassurance here. If it's something you feel it would be beneficial to the group for me to hold, yes, I will.
It is a
my
gift
best.
freely given from me, Flix, Duke of Cats.
Oh,
He hands-
understood. I will
he
do my
hands it
best to
over to you.
repay it.
You
and
having the
repay
means
it.
to protect yourself is very valuable to us, Bonsai.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more worried about protecting all of you, based on some of the things that were just said.
Those things kind of go hand in hand. We protect each other.
That's the best thing I've heard all night.
Eris picks up a piece of Hero's Feast and eats it. Oh. He is passing Rain some.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Well, does everybody like that plan? Return to Borealis, maybe retrofit the Audacity for our continued adventures, and Eris, Alara, Catherine, do you think you can play some politics and rustle us up an invitation to this Mercurial Lord's next soiree? I hear he has them essentially every month, but
I suppose I should do more research on him. I can send some missives to family. They're going to be very upset that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing here.
And
you know
most
what, Six? What were
certainly.
you supposed to be doing?
I think
breaking the shield so that the South can invade.
Oh, well, that's pretty okay.
Okay.
That's about what I expected.
Wait, what?
Wait, breaking the protection of all of Arctis so that the South and Tiamat can invade.
Not Tiamat. The various... Look, there's a lot of wealth here, and there's a perception that that it's just greed keeping the shield up, right? Everyone wants a piece of the magic here. It's intense. So they'll send agents in order to do things. I got out of my obligations by agreeing to do certain things, which of course I didn't do after I got here. It's fine. Relax.
It still sounds like you are here to destroy the one thing protecting this entire area.
No, he was just clear. He was originally here to destroy it until he figured out what it was, and then he decided to protect it instead.
Yes, at great personal expense, repeatedly.
And to be fair, among the southern folk, they were kind of here first from their perspective, and Arctis just kind of appeared.
Right.
So
they feel it was all stolen from them, effectively.
But it's neither here nor there. Flix is not here to destroy the shield, the protections.
Think of it this way. Bonsai, I'm asking you to destroy the shield protecting... not Arthas. What the...
Arctis
My
Flix.
son!
Arctis! Arctis, my
I
brain.
see only darkness.
You see what the slow does to him.
Oh
He
my
can't even
God,
remember
it's
the thing he
fucking-
just said.
He's
so
falling
bad.
apart.
Wait, which sword was Flix talking about? Was it fucking Frostborn?
Frostborn?
Flix just casually lifts up Frostborn and we get sued.
Like,
Oh,
no!
beautiful. Bonsai, would you take down all the shields protecting Arctis so we can move up and enjoy yummy magic?
No, absolutely not.
Hey, look! Somebody asked you to do a thing that you refused to do. We're in the same boat now.
That is a very good analogy, and I appreciate you elucidating me with that information.
You are welcome. Now, how do I give you this sword?
Oh, preferably with the
Give.
the handle first.
You can also just drop it on the ground and point at it and say, hey, pick that up.
No, it's way cooler if I hand it over. It really is an awesome weapon. And if you
Thank you,
decide, if
Flick.
you get something better later, you can give it back and maybe I can... He peers down into his quiver that he still doesn't know how to use. And maybe I can do something with it here.
Actually, speaking of that, we should go up to the armory and see if there's anything that speaks to Bonsai in the box.
Indeed.
Is everybody agreed on our course of action? Head to Borealis.
Tough sale, but I'm in.
Try to play politics. Let the politicians play politics for a little bit. Get us to our next target. Great, no objections. Let's go. Well, let's let Esther know the new course.
Rain, I do. This is Eris talking. I do believe that if we are to curry the favor of the Bay Court, perhaps we might be able to call in a small favor.
Oh, yes, you and I are going to have... We're going to have a conversation. But you need to come with me, and we need to have that conversation with Celine. In person, sort of. It'll be a lovely dream.
It will be terrifying.
She's not so bad. She's got a much worse reputation. Well, no, she has done some pretty awful, terrible things. But to everybody she did it to, they did deserve it. Mostly.
Well, then.
They were all Sealy Fae. It's fine.
To Borealis, then.
To Borealis.
Ah, Borealis.
Bonsai, let's go speak to Esther and stop by the armory on the way.
Sounds great. And Flix, I apologize I don't have gold or shiny things or magic to give to you, but maybe this guidance will be a short-term thanks for the sword that you gave me.
He blinks rapidly. So do you see spots when that happens, Akashaba?
Akashba gets up, looking at everyone leaving. I too will go.
Akashaba, Flix,
Oh, yeah. Harkin
whatever
takes
you
your
want to
seat.
contribute to the ship fund as well, let me know so we can give Esther a budget.
I do rather need some better armor. So I should be able to contribute everything after that.
Figure it out, Flix, and let me know so we can give her a budget.
Okay, I'm gonna follow you so you don't have to speak in Doppler effect. Who's Doppler? Just kidding.
Doppler.
Okay, that's fine. That was always allowed.
Kashaba's in the kitchen. Kashaba, where are you going?
Akashba carried out some hams with him.
Rain, one moment, please.
Of course.
You're talking about arming. What sort of situations are we trying to arm ourselves for?
Well, you remember, 9 hours ago, where there was a vampire, and then she was not a vampire, and she was a rather large dragon spitting acid at us?
I only remember a dragon and a bunch of shadows.
Oh, fair enough. She wasn't a dragon to start with. That was after she ripped your predecessor apart. and you birth from his innards. Anyway, like that all the time.
I see.
Sometimes they don't fly. Sometimes they're vicious and angry little demons that scuttle around. Sometimes they're very powerful mages who hurl spells at us. Other times they're swarms of insects. Lots, for some reason, many swarms of insects, and they really love Akashiba. And by love, I mean they love to eat him, not that they want to give him hugs.
Wait, Akashiba has fleas? Morris looks up from the plants. Huh?
No, Morris, it's fine. We've dealt with them. It's just
I've got
every time there is
I got a collar for that. It emits a small noise and then they hate it.
I am confident that you should not propose to Akashiba that you have a collar for him.
That's okay. There's already a defamation lawsuit incoming.
There's already a C&D in Morris's inbox.
But
Hey, you're all about to get served.
But the fleas, you don't want them traveling up to the head, right? Because then, your head would itch. So the collar, makes sense. I mean, I guess I could make it a belt. And then you kind of trap them, in between. Maybe I should make it a harness. He's like, maybe flea-proof bugbear-sized harness.
Maybe you should wait for Akashiba to ask you for that before you spend a lot of time on it. Did that answer your question, Bonsai?
Well, it answered my first one, but now it raised more questions.
Yeah,
Bugs.
sorry, I have a
think
question too. Who are you? Morris points at Bonsai.
Morris,
Oh,
I literally
talked
just
2 hours
introduced him
ago.
to you.
But nice to meet you again. Are you not feeling well?
Right. Bonsai.
Oh, the plants are affecting his short-term memory, I bet.
What?
Oh.
What?
Let me
He looks
see.
at the plants. No, that's... Huh? How could...
Remember he cured you of all of your poison that you were getting from those... Oh, no. You're
Huh?
definitely getting 6 different types of cancer, Morris.
Yeah.
We should really throw those overboard.
Whoa. Whoa, hey!
Bonsai
Hi, hey,
lays on
Bonsai.
hands, cures
What?
whatever disease or poison is ailing him.
He sneezes. Oh, hey, Bonsai, what's going on?
Hi. Nice to meet you again.
What?
Hopefully we don't have to do this every time I walk through, but I'm here if you need that.
He looks at Rain.
Rain,
Huh?
what I was trying to say was that Flix gave me a sword and holds up the silver sword.
Mm-hmm.
This, I don't think, would be very good to use against bugs. But maybe there's something from these plants that could work.
Oh, if you think you can use those plants, then by all means, let's not throw them overboard. But
Well, they do look quite interesting, and maybe there's something that we could distill out of it. Maybe with Morris's help or just understanding how they're affecting him could turn into something.
That's not my major. I came to Arctis to major. Oh god, I gotta sit down.
Bonsai, I think you've got a valid point, though. You should have multiple different tools for different circumstances.
Oh
a
no,
sword
I'm
is
good.
good for some things.
I'm good.
You look incapacitated. Are you sure you're good?
I'm good.
Maybe you shouldn't be in this room.
Yeah. Every time you come here and say hey Morris, you're doing a great job, and you put your hand on my shoulder and tell me I'm doing a good job, I instantly feel better. It's weird.
Morris, when is the last time you got fresh air?
Huh? What? I've been
Got out of this room. and went up on deck.
There's enough air circulation down here. I've set it up so that the vents are pulling in not from the output towards the Borean Shard power source could lead to an influx of heat actually in this area, which would cause the overall temperature to. I have not been on deck for a long
I
time.
am confident that is not how that works, but I don't know enough to dispute it. So maybe get up on deck and get some fresh air once in a while, Morris, please.
But
Can't
what
have
if
you
Lucaris-
doing a memento down here or something and need to tattoo everything we tell you on your arm.
I don't know what that means?
It's an
Also, it-
excellent book. You should read it.
Oh, but one of my arms is metal. You would probably have to etch that in.
It works even less that way, so you should definitely not do that. Oh, I totally forgot about the auto load. That's awesome.
Ah,
Ah!
Why am I in bed now?
what?
Oh, did everybody go with?
I'm not tired.
I think we all went.
Oh, shit.
Bonsai doesn't exist in this scene, though.
Okay, I will, hold on, let me drop. Kashiba's in bed. Hold on, I will.
Nice, my dreams are coming true.
I'll put Flicks on the map.
Thanks.
Oh god! Right on top of Bonsai.
Oh. No. I want to control Rain, not Iron Maiden. Why does it keep flipping to the Iron Maiden? Stop. Can we get rid of her? Is that
Oh, yeah.
possible?
Frank? No!
It's fine. Frank and the Iron Maiden can still have their date. That's fine.
Not my day! I've been stood up. Oh, hello, Rain. And hello,
Hello,
Bonsai.
Shar.
How are you both doing today?
Hi, Shar.
Hi.
Doing quite well. Learning a lot about the terrors that might destroy this entire world that we exist within.
It's really a constant sense of anxiety, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, welcome aboard the Audacity, where at least we have each other.
That's a great outlook. Bonsai gives a smile.
Now, well, I'm sure everyone was very happy to see you under the deck. Was everyone doing all right?
Yes, I think we had a lot of very good conversations. And thank you, Shar, for keeping everything in tip-top shape up here. Would you mind letting Esther know that we are looking to set course for Borealis? We'd like to make a return, check on Prismata, and also let her know that some of her plans for retrofitting the Audacity might be in play, and if she could give us a budget, we might have some gold to spend while we're there.
Oh, that is delightful. I did want to talk a little bit about, well, all of the things you brought on board. Now, as the quartermaster, I need to remind you of the things that are coming in and going out. And right now, our crew capacity is currently, the status is understaffed. Because, well, we do have a lot of people on board. And we don't have enough supplies to really feed them all for too long. So what are you going to do with all of these goblins you've picked up?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Perhaps it's a great question for Aris. You know, the new scion of House Lunesti and everything, and he might have some work for them to do down in Maginox before we leave.
Oh, yes, the homeless one. That one,
Yes.
Eris, the homeless guy. I
Well,
don't think
I
he's
mean-
going to know where all these goblins are going to go, Rain. So
Well,
perhaps
Catherine
if...
has a house. I don't know. What are we supposed to do with them, Shar?
I don't know,
We
I'm just
saved their
telling you.
lives. I didn't really think more than
Look
that.
at this ledger, food in, and then people in. It's just...
Well, if the concern is just getting food, that's fine. Here's 1,000 gold, Shar. Like,
Oh.
get all the food that we need.
Oh, but, Rain, we simply just don't have the facilities to feed all of these people. We have, what is akin to a single cauldron, and mind you, Lara's been working very, very hard. She's been actually quite diligent about it, but just our airship is not really meant to be holding this many people, and
Right. Hence the giving Esther a budget to do retrofitting while we're in Borealis.
retrofitting, we may as well get an entirely new airship.
Well, whatever artificers do, I don't know. Just maybe we just unplug Lucaris and plug him into. I don't know.
Char scratches
That's
her
Esther's
head.
deal.
At this
Akashaba,
point-
am I crazy? Am I taking crazy pills right now?
At this point, Akashba actually comes in the door. What? Why are you taking crazy pills? Why would you need this?
Can we just give somebody money to make the ship bigger?
Well, with 1,000 gold, I'm certain I can just take all of these goblins and find them new employ somewhere in the city,
Oh,
but
you know what, Akashaba, you have your little goblin enclave that you were starting back in Borealis. Maybe we can, let them work in the soup kitchen or whatever that you're starting.
No,
Gainful
no.
employment.
I just put the ham in the goop.
I don't know what that means.
I don't. Is that bugbear for something? Is that code?
No. So Laryl was making this unsavory goop, and I stole her ham, and she was a little cross with me. But then I made a lot of ham with my magic, and then I put some of the ham in the goop so that we could eat it again. Akashima looks very confused as he's saying this.
Oh, well, good job, Ikoshava. I'm certain that will be delicious.
Yeah. All right. As far as goblins go, okay. Akashima walks up. It's really important that they have dignified work. Oftentimes, goblins are given what we would call not dignified work, and then default into a life of crime. So what we need to do is find them good jobs.
Well, just if that's the plan, if you're going to offer them employ with Eris and the Lunestes, that also might be a plan, but I'm sure they'd like to
they
hear
might try
from
to-
one of you
Oh,
about, what the plan is.
They might try to drink their blood. I don't know about this. Akashima says, rubbing his chin.
Well, okay, but let's go up. Shar pulls out a piece of paper. Currently, in this particular stall, you've got what I have gathered to be two bloodthirsty, not quite vampiric, but not quite dampiric either, women. And, well, it seems like they have taken to Eris, so maybe I'll just put them under Eris's... Okay, so they're under Eris. Now
I mean, we could also just get rid of them. I think that's fine.
What? What do you mean?
What if-
Just drop them
Yeah,
off
No,
in
no,
Borealis?
Put them back
I
under
think,
Maginox.
yeah, we should let them off here, Maginox, before we leave. I think they're not going to want to
Yeah.
go where we're going. They want to stay where it's nighttime, and they can do no more harm. House Vicatus has fallen, so
All right. I think I will broach the topic of them if they decide they wish to work for the Lunestes. But I will ensure that the airship drops them off in Maginox before we proceed. Thank you. Great. We are getting somewhere.
perfect. And all the
Wonderful.
Maginox tourists that we rescued.
Yes. There are so many, and they're from everywhere.
Yes, I think we can give them a choice if they'd like to come with us and join the crew of the Audacity, or at least have free fare back to Borealis, where it's probably a bit more safer for them right now. And if they don't, then they can depart here as well.
I think, Rain, it would also behoove you to give them a spot of pocket change along the way. If we were to drop them in Borealis without their things, it might help them. What do you say?
Sure, if anybody wants to depart, they can have, I don't know, 50 gold?
Oh, I was thinking around 20, so
20 gold it is. Perfect, Shar.
I never got teleported where I need to be.
you are.
Lonely.
Do you just not have
you went
token?
back into the hole.
I didn't.
You were
Where's-
on the scene, you were up north.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it just didn't take you to where your token was.
No, it did. I was on the wrong stairs. How do I get out of here? I'm so
Lex is lost.
help.
It's like he's never
Help.
been here before. What do you mean help?
Well,
Follow the
It's
stairs.
all automatic.
No, follow the stairs up.
It's really
There
hard
you
to
go,
tell
buddy.
which way is
I
up.
believe. There you
They
go.
should darken
up
on the
stairs.
way down. I need better UX.
Yep. You need better eyes, old
I'm
man.
here. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Flix.
Hello, Flix.
Hi.
We are just deciding what to do with all the people we brought back on ship.
Yes,
Oh, we
we've
should-
got quite the crew.
Yes,
Well,
I
not
definitely
crew,
think
they
some
are,
sort of.
Passengers, and we need to figure out where we need to drop them off.
Well, if they'd like to leave, they can either choose Maginox or they can get free fare with us to Borealis. And if they want to leave, give them 20 gold from the hold. That seems perfectly fine, and they can make their own way.
Wonderful. I think that's a very amicable conclusion.
Is everybody in agreement? Sorry, before Akashaba, Flix, Bonsai.
Wait, what are we doing with goblins again?
I think we include the goblins in this, and if they'd like to, they can either join the crew, they can come back to Borealis with us, where they'll depart, or they can depart here in Maginox. And if anybody chooses to depart, we'll give them 20 gold, send them on their way, and best wishes. Anybody who wants to stay, they can go on payroll.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
That seems reasonable. Is that enough to start your way in the world, though? Perhaps we should try to make arrangements with the authorities.
Well, there's
And
not really any
Borealis
authorities
to-
here in Maginox, but
Not in Maginox and Borealis. Why would we release them in Maginox?
We can
we give them the
always
choice. Some
we
of
can
them
also
will want
send
to
them
stay.
to the
This is their
Adventurers
home.
Guild. They can stay there for a time, and
We should definitely send missives ahead so that they can prepare for the influx of refugees there.
I think 20 gold is enough, but if I propose 50, but Shah was like, no, give them 20.
Can we give the goblins 50 and everyone else 20?
No, Koshba, we're not going to be unfair.
Oh, it's just they are disproportionately affected by, economic inequality. So I'm just saying maybe we give them a little extra help.
I agree
you
with the
can
Goshima.
give them as much as you like.
Okay, I'll
100
give them
gold
50
would even go very far, and probably carry word of your deeds along with it. The more generous you are, the more the goblins like to talk.
How many people did we actually rescue, Shah? We had the goblins, we had the other prisoners, some of whom were various goblins as well, if I recall, and we had the 2 vampires.
Yes, if you would like the exact number, I have it right here. I don't, because I'm totally bullshitting.
Yes, let me check out. Let me check my
Let me
notes.
go to the other scene real
Shuffle,
quick.
shuffle.
Shuffle.
Yeah,
Well,
that's in here somewhere. Shuffle.
the count of terrified tourists we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have approximately 10 terrified tourists, a scholar that is a Vaki who lives under Maginox. We also have 5 goblin weavers who are now quite fond of Rowley for some reason.
I love
2
that.
vampire
I did offer
thralls,
them jobs here specifically for what it's worth.
and another young Vaki woman that you have saved from Castle Vicadis.
So it's a total of 19 individuals.
That sounds about right. 1,
Okay,
2,
great.
3,
Take 1,900 gold from. Well, yes, 1,900 gold is fine if they all wanted to leave. But if anybody wants to stick around and join our crew, I'll leave you to do the interview process to make sure they have applicable skill sets. Then they can go on payroll instead.
So how many goblins was this again?
No, we have approximately about 20 erroneous passengers right now.
5 of them were the goblin weavers. And then
Okay.
there was like a couple assorted goblins, I think, amongst the prisoners, but I don't recall.
Yeah. Then totally for each goblin, I will give 100 gold. That's fine.
I just take. Shaw can take it from the stash. There's plenty of gold in here. Rain kicks the chest.
Absolutely. I'll make sure they're well
Alright.
taken care of. It will be, in fact, I'll do that right now. I'll take 2,000 gold from the stash here.
Well, again, only if they all want to leave, Shaw.
I understand.
Otherwise, they go on payroll.
Even if they stay, right, they need pocket money.
Well, yes, but they're not going to get like 100 gold a week or whatever, and it's going to be more doled out.
much is
Perhaps
a
we
lot of
just
gold?
consider, because they've gone through a great loss, giving them a little bit of a boost.
Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, fine.
yes,
No, she's right, though, Rain.
quartermaster things.
If you had a bad time, you'd feel much better if someone gave you some gold. It's fine.
It's fine.
Let
I've
our
already talked about this
generosity
way
be known
more
throughout the
than
land.
I would like to.
Yes, thankfully that is why I am here. So all of these things that you desire, I shall make true. Chara
Oh,
gestures
wait, you grant
flamboyantly.
wishes?
Yes, that is currently a part of my new ascension. She twirls a quill around.
Akashiba
You're being
looks like his
sarcastic.
jaw drops. Akashiba, for a moment, looks like he probably believes that.
She points the quill at Flix like it's a sword. Kneel, Flix, Duke of Cats, and I shall grant you a wish.
What are you wishing for?
Yes,
Well,
what
I
are
can't tell you or it won't come true.
Of course you can
Oh.
tell me. Okay, now
I can tell you, but I'll tell you later after I think of it.
must ritualistically tap your shoulders, Sir Knight, with my quill of wish granting.
Oh, I'm rather more highly ranked than a knight, but I accept your intentions. He says, kneeling in midair so she can tap him.
And now, what is your wish, Flix?
I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll let you know, though. He gives her a wink.
Count roll.
frowns.
It wasn't that kind of wink, Akasha, but relax.
What?
It was-
I didn't say
It was.
anything.
You didn't have to say anything. I could feel your frown. I could
What?
feel it.
You can't feel a frown.
I can.
You're stupid.
Hello, Bonsai. We have not really spoken very much. My name is Shaw Iceborne, and I am the quartermaster for the Audacity crew, and it is a pleasure having you on board once again. I'm curious, how are you settling in?
Oh, well, it's nice to meet you again, Shar. And of course, Thorn and Grun over there. Nice to see you both.
They look up from the map, pointing and grunting at each other.
I don't think this is a place to settle. This is a ship that moves. So I'm not sure I follow your question entirely.
Oh, he is quite literal. He's quite literal. Well, no, I guess we cannot plant our roots here in the sky, but it does serve as our temporary mobile domicile. For the time being, I hope it is to your liking.
Speaking of just that, actually, we were trying to settle him in with some equipment, Shar.
Oh, how wonderful. I dare say I don't know your skill set.
Well, let's see. Rain throws open the chest. What speaks to you, Sai?
Yes, there are a lot of vaguely magical things, and I say strongly magical things that Rain can fill you in on, but go on, help yourself.
Do you have anything that can help me take some of those plants downstairs and try to distill out their most potent properties to maybe affect a swarm of insects or nicely put something to sleep for a little bit if we need to?
That sounds like you want an alchemy kit. Perhaps we can buy you one in Borealis.
Yeah, alchemy or potions or poisons, whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
Shar, can we add that to our list of things to procure for supplies?
Of course. I will get an alchemist kit with a plethora of vials and empty potions for you to, do whatever you like with.
Hoping to be able to find something to help anyone that spends too much time in that room, but that'll come later, I hope.
Well,
Oh,
maybe
how
when we
wonderful.
retrofit the ship, we can accommodate for a greenhouse that's not right on top of Morris's workstation.
Oh, yes. Has he figured out that some of those plants are poisonous yet?
He might just keep forgetting, actually. It seems like his short-term memory has been affected.
Oh, dear. That could be some sort of recurring problem. Imagine he leaves to go to the restroom and then forgets and then comes back and then forgets. Oh dear. I wonder when the last time he ate was.
Can we actually make sure that he comes up gets some fresh air on the deck at least, 3 times a day?
I will write that one down.
Until, at least until we're able to resolve whatever's going on with those plants and get them in a proper place.
Of course. Aside from, making sure you're properly equipped, Bonsai, I do like to take it upon myself a little bit to get to know the crewmates. What drives you, Bonsai? Why are you here?
Well, Shar, I believe my purpose is to protect Arctis from Tiamat's influence in all of its forms.
Oh, strong words. Many people would doubt the existence of Tiamat, call it rumor or Hearsay, even.
Well, it is very real. We've already seen and defeated a dragon of Tiamat's form, and it spoke to us. So, if anyone's doubting, I would be happy to correct them. However, it's good to hear that you think those are strong words. I don't know much about them myself, other than what I just said.
Ah, you're like a young sapling finding new purpose in this world. I hope you find other things that fulfill you aside from your innate desire to protect. It's noble, but, well, a
Oh, you
tree
should
needs more than just water to grow. It needs sunlight, yes?
Akashiba pipes in. You should learn to cook like I did.
I'm not entirely sure that was cooking what you just did.
No, you didn't see the other. So what I did was I took the ham, right, and then I put it in a pot full of bubbling stuff, which Laryl said was like stuff that just needed meat to be good. So I put some meat in it, and now, presumably based on what she has said, it is probably delicious soup.
I'm not sure that's how it works, honestly.
I put it. It is cooking. I put it in there.
Char scratches her head.
It's important though to have hobbies, like Shar says. So, like me, maybe you learn to cook.
I think it is good
speaking
for
of hobbies,
Bonsai to get out and experience new people, new faces, well, everything.
Rain, looking at the stash that you have here and these beautiful little cards that you have in front of each of the different items that you've collected.
Oh, these are lovely, Shaw. Did you add these?
What the hell are you talking about?
Everything's labeled.
Oh. No, I didn't do any of that bullshit. But
Well,
I'm really glad that things updated. Fantastic. I love magic.
sorry, Bonsai. Was something speaking to you?
Well, yes, but I got distracted again. I'm still worried that this use of magic is what's causing all of Tiamat's influence, but we'll come to that later. It looks here like you have a helmet that can command devils. I would like to do that as a pastime. Is that an option?
That's not good. That's not a good thing to do with your time. You don't want to do that.
Well,
Char's like,
So,
we have a what? A what whomst?
I mean, certainly it's something you could do. Just one thing to warn you of, Bonsai, with that helmet. When you do that, when you try to command a devil, there's a chance that, well, it will summon a devil directly to you to take you away. It has a curse associated with it.
It can do that through Arctis's barrier?
This is kind of the thing about the barrier is, while it mostly works,
It also
It
doesn't,
seems
which
like-
is how we got here in the first place.
well, sort of, but also like if you have something of the devils on this side, it makes it easier for them to puncture the veil, so to speak.
Why are you keeping it?
Well, because we don't use it, we're keeping it from other people who were using it.
Yeah, but why don't we just purify it, like break it?
Well, some things can't just be broken, Akashiba.
Because
No.
we're fighting devils, and perhaps it might actually come in handy if we need to deal with a particular devil situation.
Rain, marrying vampires, possibly using devil helmets. Rain, I think you are losing yourself.
It's in the
think
box.
That's nonsense.
Ugh. Looks at
Anyway,
Bonsai. Don't be
Bons-
like that.
Bonsai, if it's something that you think you can use and can use safely, I think that's fine, but I warn you that it is, like I said, cursed.
Right, I would not recommend that one. That's a weapon of last resort.
Well, if it can bring us to a stronger devil, then maybe that devil can bring us to Tiamat, and we can destroy Tiamat for once and for all.
It's not.
Well,
No.
we'd rather lack the power to do that. You see, Tiamat is akin to a god, and we'd need a weapon capable of dealing with a god, and that is not it.
What is that?
That's Frank. Say hello, Frank.
Hello, Frank. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Frank, this used to be Sai. They're Bonsai now, and they don't have any memories of who they were before.
Hi,
You
Bonsai.
shared a closet once, I think.
Hello, Bonsai. It's nice to meet you. I also
hello,
came back
Frank.
with very little memory of who I was or my place in the world. It's really disorienting.
Yes, I feel like I have one heading that's pulling me, and nothing else is clear.
Frank nods wisely.
I understand and empathize completely. It's very just take things a day at a time and then look back on it a little bit every day.
I see. Thank you.
Also, you can make so many new friends. He points. That's Grun. And he's really good at making maps.
Grun's like, well, actually very bad at making maps. I just read them, and Thorn is chuckling.
That's Thorn. And she's a devil hunter.
Thorn looks up, waves, looks back down at the map.
Oh, Thorn, shouldn't you have a say in what happens with this helm of summoning devils to then be able to hunt?
Thorn looks up. Having you utilize that helm would ask me to put you in danger to summon demons? No thanks. We could destroy it. But I would also be interested in a somewhat sick way to see just how this demon could potentially manifest if the helm is used poorly. She looks back down at the map. It could help us identify a more exact location of these weak points. But at the expense
See?
of one of you, I would not consider it.
Akashima just rolls his eyes.
I agree. At the expense of one of us, well, Bonsai, you seem good. Yes, at the expense of one of us, definitely not.
I just dumped some more stuff in the stash as well from my inventory.
Oh, right. I should probably do the same thing. I'm carrying
It
around an
doesn't-
awful lot of objects.
It didn't
Although-
get rid of anything in my inventory, though. It all stayed.
Rain, how does my thing work? Should I turn any of these into crossbow bolts? Is that what it does?
Oh, I will have to help you with that. I have to rework the magic for them a little bit and reform them into bolts. But it does have the magic to bind the bolt once it's been created to your quiver, yes.
All right. Well, I would love a full explanation because I'm absolutely frothing to try it.
I'm sure you will get one anon.
I don't like a non, I like now.
Rain gives you a full explanation that I'm sure will be written in a documented card format by whatever mysterious card gnomes we
Sorry,
have.
I
at
mean, I
some
have
point.
to roleplay Flix. It's not like Flix is going to be patient.
No. Something that's not in this stash that I see, Christina, and is not in my inventory is the cursed sentient longsword.
I will double check that you do have it. I think it just might be
I think it was
not
just something
created
was only,
yet.
Yeah, I think it was just something always tracked in Discord. I don't think it was ever an actual item.
Yeah, so I will make an actor for that as well.
We do have this armor. Do you wear armor, Bonsai? Do you need armor? You kind of are armor.
I feel pretty protected from physical attacks, that is. I must point out, and they hold up the silver sword. This looks wonderfully made, but it is quite heavy. I will do my best with it, but I'm not sure swords might be my thing.
Do you like lighter swords, faster swords? Do we need to get you
sure.
like a bench press so you can get swole?
That might be something to work on over time, yes.
What
Maybe I'll
about
grow into it.
a giant sickle?
A what, Frank?
A sickle, you know, like a big hook on a stick.
Do you have one of those just lying around?
No. No, if I was carrying one of those things around, I think it scares people. But it's
That's
a big
probably
spooky
true.
stick. Do you like big spooky sticks?
I like sticks. Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
We do have some sticks in here.
Ooh.
Let's consider. But what is this? And Bonsai points at the tentacle whip.
Oh, that's actually
Oh!
kind of new.
Oh, a kobold came and dropped that off. Their name
Wait,
was
what?
Sick. Yeah, Sick.
Wait, Sick brought gifts. What is it? Give it to me.
What's in the stash? You can look at it, Flix. It has a handy card that explains it.
It's kind of a wiggly jiggly thing. I don't know what it's for.
This was, remember, the tongue we ripped out of that demon.
The tongue, of course.
You all made fun of me carrying around the disgusting tongue.
Well, I mean, I didn't make fun of you so much as I made jokes about it. Those are two different things.
Mm-hmm. Speaking
That doesn't look
of
disgusting
being,
at all. That might work.
Speaking of being strong, Akashaba, do you still use those gloves that we had from forever ago?
I keep them stored away for, how you say, rainy day.
Perhaps that might be something useful? I don't know. I'm just proposing the idea.
Maybe we think about it.
Okay.
Oh, this is fascinating.
You want to give up your gloves, buddy? You want to give up your gloves? No.
You have like 12 items that you can't attune to. It's fine.
They're all mine.
It's fine.
Fine.
Nope. It's fine.
This is fine.
Yeah, Bonsai looks pretty satisfied with like anything or nothing, but as most eyeing that tentacle thing because it looks interesting.
Oh, if you, I'm surprised that you're interested in this. It's not what I think of when I think of a holy warrior, but by all means, look at it.
I don't know if I'm holy per se, Flix. I think I just might have a mission to fight things that are not holy.
Oh, look at that. It's a big vine. The wood skeleton's got a big vine weapon. I think it's perfect.
It does kind of have the same vibes as the armor that... Is Bonsai actually wearing the armor, or is it like part of Bonsai now? Like, is it discernible?
It looks very similar, like if you were looking at two different trees of the same species, it would be kind of like that.
Okay, but like the
is
armor
it, like,
itself
does it
is not
provide armor, or
distinguished.
is it just your body now? Is my question.
Yeah.
That is up to you how you would like to present yourself.
I think it's like natural armor, so it's basically the natural skin of Bonsai is this thick plate armor.
Okay.
Cool. So that means that you can't benefit from wearing other armor. So that is your armor.
He can.
Correct.
But he can like wear armor, but he does get the benefits from it. It is just his armor, though. We will just consider it upgrades.
I see. I see. what you mean.
If that's how he chooses to like want to wear, like, quote unquote, wear plate and just have it be a manifestation of like, his wooden self becoming more fortified, I'm totally cool with that.
But it means that finding additional armor for him is a thing that we should do. He doesn't have armor.
He can freely, I will just say, Bonsai can freely wear and assimilate any plate.
Cool.
Christina, you started the character with a plate +1. Is that
Is
still real?
That is real. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, we're Bonsai's pretty satisfied.
I just consider that to be a part of you. If you want to like uproot your armor and like crawl out of this one and like a snail into like a new shell, like a hermit crab, totally fine. I won't define how that transition will be, but if you want to just wear the armor or be the armor, I'm totally cool with either.
I'd love to turn this dragon hide and scale into a nice set of leather armor, possibly. But that will have to wait until Borealis, unless there are craftspeople aboard that I'm unaware of.
Craftspeople, you have an entire thing of goblin weavers downstairs, Flix. You would need to convince them to stay on board to work on your armor.
Well, when we rescued them, we told them that we were hiring them. Did they not tell you that?
Char looks around.
They were kind of terrified, Flix, with the whole shadow vampire business.
Yeah, they had a lot of what I would consider, trauma. So I kind of put them to bed, and Alara gave them nice dreams, and Rowley curled up with them, and they seemed fine. We decided not to talk about employment with the recently traumatized goblin weavers.
Well, they seemed to be in pretty good spirits when we rescued them, but, you never can tell with people.
They were alive.
Oh. I fucking hate this thing, but it could prove useful to someone. We should remember that we have it. When we enter the Fey Lord's domain, this Fey Hunter's coat does provide advantage against Fey magics.
Oh, I also put the Fey Finder lantern in there. I know you find it distasteful, Flix, but could be
More
useful.
than distasteful, but it could be useful. And I'm not one to turn aside a useful weapon. But, it's an anathema to me. I'd very, very gladly destroy it.
Well, if you and Akoshiba would rather destroy some of these items and offer them up to the Ascended, that's
Like
certainly fine.
As I said, I'd rather turn a useful weapon to a useful purpose.
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting rid of the demon helm, but
Do you want to do it so badly that you'd be willing to give up your gauntlets that you never use, Akoshiba?
no.
No.
Thorn looks up. Akashiba, if we were to destroy something of that nature, we would have to bring it to Auralia for proper cleansing.
Oh, that's new to me. Usually, I just pray really hard to the light and things break.
That
It's
is
new.
if you are breaking the nature of a magical item itself, but something that has been tainted or cursed like that is not so easily gotten rid of. And something that is so close to the Nine Hells must be properly cleansed before being destroyed.
All right. Well, sounds like soonest he does not know why he wandered up to Frank. Sounds like soon as we do this, he's
Hey!
going to be on trip to Aurelia. So I guess for now we do not destroy.
Which we are going to Auralia.
Busily takes the dragon hide out of the thing. Oh, we have oil of slipperiness. I wonder if that could be combined with this armor somehow. I'm going to take that too.
Are you looking to be more slippery, Flex? I thought you were quite slick enough. Char laughs.
Are you flirting with me? Regardless,
Please,
there are
Flex, please.
things that capture me, and I dislike being captured intensely. He puts his little paws up. And I prefer not to ever be captured again if I can avoid it. I know that I won't always be successful, but perhaps, I don't know, goblins are clever, maybe they can work it out.
Well, do you have friends in Auralia, Flix? You're a fae, forgive me, my knowledge of the courts is, cursory at best. Question mark, Flix?
What's this about cursory? What are we talking
Hello?
about?
Well, I was
What?
asking you about the fae courts in Auralia. What do you know?
Well, the fact is that every Fey court is different. The one thing that they all have in common is that whoever the monarch is benefits from the court itself with a vast array of powers. Essentially, whatever being you were before you ascend the throne, you become something else after. You gain awareness that you didn't have previously and access to magics that you didn't, and are exceedingly difficult to permanently kill.
Is that something that they get from the dreaming?
I don't think any of us really know. It just sort of happens. And since it happens, we don't question it. It's not in the nature of fairies to ruminate on such things normally. But
They've always been
there
quite
are
mystical.
there are downsides. Essentially,
Well,
as much as you preside over the court, you are bound to it. You are bound to its rules and rights and restrictions. And again, each court is different, but in some places, a bargain made and crossed on 3 times must be adhered to for a year and a day, or there will be dire consequences. In others, hanging an iron horseshoe over a door will prevent any fae from entering due to ancient pacts. As I said, it varies from court to court, and I don't know his very well, and I was never invited, so there's much that we must discover if we are to understand his weaknesses. But I do not think that we can take what we need by main force.
no, no, it sounds like these lords have this sort of ethereal, almost pseudo ascended like power. All of the stories that I've heard about these terrifying Fey lords as a wee girl, they are quite terrifying. They trick you, and they deceive you.
Well,
Forgive
yes,
me.
it's in the nature of Fae to be tricky. It's literally in our nature. It's very, very difficult to defy. Sometimes even painful. We are subject to our circumstances, however, and he glances slyly over at Rain and Akashaba, and some influences make it easier for us to change our natures.
You see, as you're talking and you're like sharing your life story, that Akashba is like slowly sliding. towards
Falling
light.
asleep. This is important,
like,
Akashaba.
you
You fight undead. You now need to learn how to fight my kind, or at least not get completely bamboozled by them. And I know you so hate getting bamboozled.
Akashba like sprawls out on the bed. Oh, Flix, I find that most things die to generally the same thing, so I'm not that worried.
That's
Frank
entirely my
tucks you
point.
in.
Is that you don't. Where we're going, you're very likely not going to just get to kill everything. I don't think it's going to work.
Akashba looks up
Tuckies.
at Frank. Frank, it's been kind of long day. Maybe could you give me some space?
Oh, just wanted to tuck you in nice and tight. Cozy,
Thank
cozy.
you. Oh, yep.
Roly
Yeah, this-
poly. Ha ha ha.
Definitely
Look
what I
at
wanted.
it, look
yeah.
at just wiggle you back and forth.
Akasha-
Woohoo!
Frank, for your own, Akasha's been killing a lot of things lately, and I think that the
Yeah.
reflexes are still there. You might want to step away.
Akashaba's amulet begins glowing.
Oh, he's just a big cocoon. Oh, look at him. Hee hee hee.
Okay, Christina, I'm going to use the harmless version of Turn Undead.
Shit.
Oh, bye, Frank. You know, we should really give him this sword so that he stops running away whenever Akashaba does that.
Does Frank run?
Frank's gonna make a wisdom save. Hang on.
However, if the individual that we're seeking has not ascended the throne, well, killing's totally an option.
Oh, poor Frank.
Oh, well, got places to be.
Akashaba,
Hey, Esther.
Akashaba nods knowingly, like Robert Redford gift style, and then like goes back to like sprawling out in the bed.
Poor Frank.
As I said, I could write to relatives in the south, but I don't think that they're going to be very pleased to hear from me. And it does present some risks.
Well, I'll leave that up to you to decide if that's the best course of action. Like I said, my knowledge of Fae is really from story and, well, mirthful tale at best. Or at least when the Fae come to town for things like the hunt.
Well, all such things are a liberal combination of truth and lies. Partially for fun, partially for self-preservation.
An illusion, and for, well, also for fun and for entertainment, but there's danger. Oh, I think I'm starting to understand.
At the end of the day, sure, Fae are predators. They just are. It manifests in different ways, but, well, as I said, it's our nature. And tricksters, of course. We're very cute and funny, you know.
I appreciate your candid nature. She turns as Rain and Bonsai are moving around the room. I'll make sure everything is in order before we head to Borealis. Did you want to speak with Esther outside?
Yes. I was just dumping things in the chest, you know? Briefly.
Oh, yes. Go on,
Oh,
go
I have
on.
some goblins to talk to. I'll go do that. Where are they? Sure.
Oh, they're down in the hall. If you're talking about the Weavers, they're with Rowley. They should be, just before the main gathering area. If you go one step north and then just look to the right, they should be all nestled up in some hay.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'll just barge into every room until I find them. Thank you, Shaw. Bye.
Flex, real quick.
I knew that was...
Just wanted to say thank you for the sword, but I placed it in the stash in case you need it in the future. The fire element scares me.
Oh, right. You are
Oh.
literally made of wood. I forgot about that. So, understandable. I'll perhaps retrieve it later.
I was just kidding, Akasha, but I don't get scared. But I wanted him to feel better.
I do
Oh yeah,
think those...
actually, managing flicks is like big part of being in team. But yeah,
How dare you?
Rain, before you go.
Oh, yep.
Thorn looks up.
Thorn. Yes, Thorn.
Just to update you about what occurred in the Moon Sage Tower. It's going to need a little more excision than I can manage, but between myself and she gestures down at your sword and Pecco, we managed to at least cut it off from any further corruption. It still exists, the egg in that plane, and we're going to need more of the Chosen in order to fully destroy it.
Oh, of course. Remind me, is this the incursion from Vanix, or is this just the nightmare egg?
Nah, it's Vanix.
Oh, I very much would love to be there. So, I'm kind of glad that you weren't able to completely get rid of it.
I'll
I have
keep
a
you
bone to
posted.
pick with him.
Oh, well, happy to help. We'll talk more as we get into Auralia.
Great. It might be a little bit, Thorn. We're going to Borealis first. I'm sure you heard, but that is on
Understandable.
the docket now.
I'm looking forward to some familiar drinks in a familiar tavern.
Oh, will you introduce us to the best places in town?
I'm pretty sure I'll get a pretty big discount once we go back to the Apple's Eye.
Oh, that in Borea. Oh, right. Nope. I thought you meant in Auralia.
She winks at you.
Yep. Nope. Didn't forget that. Doubt Akashima did either.
Ashba frowns.
Akashima does not frown.
Thornton laughs. I am looking forward to going back to Borealis. He looks over at Thorn looks over at Akashima. I dare say, will you be visiting the Apple's Eye again, Akashima?
He looks at Shar. like looks back at Thorn. No, you know, if I
Char
get
suddenly
there,
finds the tome next to her very interesting.
I mostly really just want great breakfast. Kashma. Borealis makes greatest breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Does Akashma go to the Apple's Eye for the breakfast buffet?
Yeah, for the breakfast. Yeah, they've got really big eggs.
Yeah, I go there to read magazines.
Yeah, I go there to read the articles.
I go there for the great big hams, the ham breakfast.
The
Is this a
hams.
grocery?
Yeah, you can check a lot of things out there.
Akashima kind of takes a step forward, looks to Bonsai. No, they make great breakfast. In Borealis was where many of us come from, and he looks at Shar. I mean, Shar, you miss Borealis too, yes?
Of course, it's so quaint. I've spent a lot of time in Borealis.
Yeah, so we're all very excited to go back.
Oh, I'm going to visit the hot springs if I get a moment.
Oh, it's been so long. We should all go there. It'd be like fun hangout day.
Did you know they have like a grand hot spring like right outside of the town? It's a
What?
whole thing. They've got like separate rooms for men and for women, and you could choose your pools. They're all heated on different tiers. It's fantastic. You haven't been there?
No, not to Grand Hot Spring, but we should definitely go while we are there.
Of course.
He looks around and realizes Rain is gone. Ugh, damn it. Alright, yeah, no, it's fine. We'll just go. We'll just go and we'll have great hot spring adventure.
Oh, I can't wait. I do love the hot spring.
Akashma blushes
So
a little
mad
bit.
that Akasha. So mad that Flix wasn't in the room for that discussion.
Meanwhile, on the prow of the ship. Oh, hello, Rain.
Hey, Esther.
How are you?
Very well, actually.
Where are we off to today, Captain? She gives you a friendly wink.
Wait a minute, I thought you were the captain.
I mean, I'm the captain, but you know, you've got the purpose, the direction, the drive, and I do the turning.
Excellent. Thank you for the clarification, Esther. Actually, you have a purpose as well. You've talked about it quite extensively. We'd like to go back to Borealis, check up on some things there, check up on Prismata. I think there's some other business that folks would like to take care of. But I thought maybe while we were there, you could take a look at upgrading the Audacity.
That
We have a
sounds
budget.
great. What? That's even better.
Well, technically, we don't have. Can you give us a budget? Give us options, and we'll get back to you on.
What's your
Funding?
budget? What's your project? What's your budget? What's your?
Well, like we just want some options. We got quite a bit of. Well, like look, we knocked over a bunch of vampire houses. They had a lot of gold in the bottom.
Ooh, well, we could go a couple different ways. One route is we could totally redesign the airship, or even purchase a new one. It depends on what's more cost efficient. Now, if we're looking for strict weapon upgrades, there's a couple other upgrades we'll have to do first. And one is that we would have to make sure we reinforce the hull, so when the weapon goes boom, it doesn't blow a giant hole in the ship. Or, you know, dislodge itself from the ship and go flying off and then killing someone down below horribly.
There's a lot of considerations to this that I admittedly had not considered.
And also, it depends, well, do we just want to go faster? Do we want to armor up? Or do we want to just attach some magic to the side of the ship so maybe we move quieter? I don't know, there's a lot to think about. But honestly, we could start with an even better paint job.
Is it like a catalog, maybe a showroom we could look through?
Well, I think we'd have a lot more options if we went and talked to, oh my god, I forgot my
Don't say Lou.
artificer's
Don't say
name.
Lou.
Oh,
I
Lou!
hate Lou. He's so insufferable.
He
totally is. But
Oh,
he's got access to a lot of stuff. And if we're still on his good side, I could do a lot of cool things to the airship. Real
alright,
quick.
fine, Esther, fine, of course.
I mean, otherwise, I'm stuck nailing, guns to the prow of the ship for the next week. And
No, we want it to look nice. We're gonna be. Well, we'll have to show up to some fancy shindig in Auralia in some point here soon, and the Audacity should at least look presentable.
well, I know a few different design options that I was definitely pondering with Lou back in Borealis. So we could take some time and go look at those.
Sounds wonderful.
We might even be gone long enough that the prototypes might even be docked at the Maginox, the Borealis docks when we get there. They're awful
you
big,
think we could take some for a test drive?
She nods. We might just be able to.
That sounds excellent. Well, to Borealis then.
All right, to Borealis.
Oh, but first we do need to actually touch down in Maginox. We have
What?
some passengers that do need to get off before we take off to Borealis. Order of operations and all that.
Woo! Turn the ship. Whee! The
It's
ship.
just like a
Woo!
Yep.
All right, one more. Back into the breach. Who are we
aren't
dropping
just
off?
above Maginox right now? We rescued all those prisoners, Not all of them want to come to Borealis. Some of them are going to catch on fire as soon as they step out into the sunlight.
I would definitely not want that to happen. Fire is absolutely a hazard for the current ship status. We're definitely not built for fire. Well, nope, not up to code.
We should consider that actually for whatever future plans we have, because Ekoshba is a walking fire hazard, as you know.
Oh, yep. Okay, maybe higher priority on the fireproofing. Got it.
Great. Lovely chat. Thank you so much as always, Esther. And I have some other ideas to run by you at some point, but maybe not right now. Let's focus on the Audacity.
All right. Airships. Oh, are we? Meanwhile, in the room with Grun, Thorn, and Shar, Thorn is glancing up at Bonsai on occasion and back down at the map and then back up at Bonsai. So, one could say you grew into the armor.
Is that directed at me?
She looks at Akashaba and Rain for any help.
Akashaba shrugs.
I thought it was a good joke. No?
Oh, yeah, yes. It's wonderful. Yes. Haha.
Haha. But seriously though, I'm getting a vibe. She's really sizing you up. And she's just giving you a really long look. It's
Bonsai just patiently waiting and presenting.
Rain, if your friend wouldn't mind, I would love to bring him and show him around, the Order. I think he might...
I don't know why everybody asks me. It's Bonsai. Bonsai can choose what they want to do.
Bonsai, I hail from the land of light, Auralia. And at the center of Auralia is the City of Diamonds. In the City of Diamonds, I'm a part of an order that's dedicated to eradicating any presence of
the 9 hells on Arctis. And we call ourselves the Order of Beatrice's Chosen, as we have taken the Ascended as our patron and followed in her footsteps. And as our duty has become a bit more active in recent days, it is always good to make friends that have similar ideals. I have a sense from you, a similar kinship, but one with a different drive. Forgive me for my crypticism, but it is not clear to me as well. But I would like, if you would have me, I would like for you to visit my order, and perhaps we can enlighten you on your nature.
Thorn, that sounds wonderful, and your crypticism, of course, is forgiven. There's much that is very cryptic to me in many ways, but we are puzzling it through together. For me to go with you for this, as you're requesting, I believe I need to make sure that I understand from you that if the error is actually in you or your order, and failing to uphold the protections that you espouse, are your associates prepared for that potential outcome?
You notice Akashba is once more slinking back towards the bed.
Thorn frowns. I wish in my heart of hearts that what you say does not come to pass. But if that is the case, and we find corruption in the order, not only will I assist you in eradicating it by any means necessary. She looks down at the map. No. I just merely hope that that will not be the case.
That's a good thing to hope for, but just remember, if your order was succeeding, I don't believe I would exist.
She nods. Yes. It's like I don't know how the sisters will take to potential walking proof of our own failings. But I think it is something necessary to see.
Bonsai nods.
Actually, Thorn, I have a... And Bonsai, actually, for that matter. I have something I'd like you to look at. And Rain reaches into her pouch and pulls out the Tiamat dragon seed that she has, the unused one, and sets it down on the table in front of them.
I see this for what it is. Bonsai, powerful and concentrated, fiendish presence emanates from the shell, barely contained by its spiky exterior. The color and texture is reminiscent of your own skin and armor, but not the corrupted presence inside. It is so concentrated and bleak. It is like gazing into an abyss.
As I understand it, this is contains some of Tiamat's blood.
And how could such a tangible thing even be here?
Well, Victoria consumed it, and it also was what Sai consumed that then ripped him apart, and now we have Bonsai.
I'm thankful someone, was looking over him.
Rain picks it back up. I don't know exactly what to do with it, but I do know that there's power over a thing in its blood. And if we do have to tangle with or do something to reseal Tiamat in some way, perhaps this gives us some kind of an edge to do that. I dare not use it for its intended purpose, though. I wouldn't shudder to think of anyone doing so.
Rain, just by that existing here, that might be on its own creating cracks in the barrier protecting Arctis. Why
Well,
are
it
we not
certainly
destroying
came
it?
through a crack in the barrier. It had to, in this physical manifestation of Tiamat. Where are we to put it? I don't think you can just destroy something like this.
I could try to banish it back to where it came from. Or we could re-examine whether or not that helmet that we were talking about earlier might actually serve a purpose here and
Well, now you're thinking with
command it in a
angles,
different way.
Bonsai. There might be some conflux of magic. And that helmet is an interesting idea. It's far too weak to do anything right now, but it could certainly be used in some kind of ritual, perhaps. A binding ritual of some sort.
And lure demon out. But again, that would put you in danger.
What if we
Willingly.
reworked the magic?
We are all constantly in danger right now.
But this is a danger not just physical, this is a danger of something coming to claim your soul.
I don't know if souls actually exist.
Bonsai, you are living proof of souls existing. Aitma looks back over at Rain.
I don't know. I just wanted you to be aware of it, both of you.
No, it's good to
I don't know what to do with it yet. I mean, there are ways we could take it somewhere else, but is wherever we would take it really better? I don't know.
Now, I am concerned about its potential just ambient corruptive influence. I don't think it would be wise for you to carry that on your person, Rain.
And where should it go? Somewhere here, stored on the ship?
Thorn extends her hand. At the very least, leave it with me. I am immune to its corrupting influence.
Can Bonsai do an insight check on Thorn to see if Thorn has ulterior motives?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, fuck. 9.
Oh, her score without rolling is higher than a 9.
Yep, no worries.
There would be no one safer.
Rain holds it out and pauses. It's not that I don't trust you with it, Thorn. I just don't know that I trust anyone with it.
I don't blame you. Here, she pats her pockets. No, I can't give you something like a token in exchange for something like this, but at the very least, I can arrange for some sort of contact. I have sending stones around here somewhere.
Well, I
At the
would
very
certainly
least-
trust anybody who would put me in contact with less, but for now, perhaps, yes, while we're all on the ship.
I
Wouldn't want
wear
it.
many faces, Rain. This will be a surefire way to make sure you can find me in a crowd. Or in an alley.
I'm more worried about exactly that. Your modus operandi is blending in and carrying this thing around with you, I think will make you stand out to exactly the people you don't want to stand out to.
Then let the demons come.
Ah, yes, and we're back to the problem at hand. Okay, fine. Here, just take it, Thorn.
She takes it. But I assure you, Rain, we have trained a very long time in order to resist these types of corrupting influences. And
Again, it's not
am-
it's not your infallibility that I doubt. Just don't wander off alone with it, please. I would hate for you to be ambushed over this thing, and
I won't play
while
the
I
hero.
believe you're incorruptible, I don't think you are immortal.
True and true. I won't do anything senseless, and I certainly won't bring this thing anywhere near that egg or the Moon Sage's sanctum, or near any rift.
Very well.
She tucks it into her spiky armor.
I think Kashuba just mentioned that he does have a heart out, so...
Okay. That is
Yeah,
where we
she's gonna
will.
bounce.
All right, that is where we will end today. Thank you, Akashaba.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night, Kashuba.
We will end with that. As everyone is figuring out just exactly what to do. Next session, we're going to do just kind of a mini jump where your goblins will be dropped off in Maginox. Or excuse me, your vampires. Your goblins will be decided if they wish to stay or if they wish to, go back to Borealis or Maginox, or wherever they would like.
Should they stay or should they go now?
I'd like to pay them to make sweet, sweet white dragon armor for me first.
That would mean you would have to keep a few to work for you. So that can be discussed on Discord as well. But they would be a part of your
quick
crew.
Persuasion check.
We're giving them each 100 gold. I'm sure we can work out terms of employment.
Yeah.
I think Flix can make that happen if you want to make it happen.
That
Oh, I
is
still
fine.
have guidance from.
That is something we will discuss on Discord.
Well, I rolled a 24 on my persuasion check to persuade them to make me sweet, sweet, slippery dragon armor.
Put it in Discord so we don't forget.
Okay.
Great. And the Weavers will decide if they would like to stay and once again be a slave to the proletariat. So it's fine.
No. We'd be paying them very well, and they could leave whenever they wished. We could teleport them to a settlement if they desire to leave. They are under no obligation to stay.
All right, very well.
Rain could teleport them, is what you mean.
So there's there's actually a lot of
Flick
potential
said,
things going on
and
too.
Summoning the illusion of a hammer and sickle.
Oh my god. Sorry, I had to take a drink.
Our teleport, Rain.
This is our teleportation
Wow.
circle. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on aboard the Audacity, but at the very least, you have a bunch of people you saved that are very grateful for your help. And so, Flix will most likely get his way and have some goblins working on some armor for him. Rain and Thorn have a tense conversation about the current state of this Tiamat blood drop seed, which seems to have intensely corrupting properties. But the paladin has taken it upon herself to keep it safe, noting that extreme Well, it requires a lot of trust from Rain. Shar has learned a little bit more about the Fae, and probably we'll just have nightmares about Flix tonight. So thanks for that. Like, they're really
It's not how
scary.
Flix usually shows up in her dreams.
Like, yeah, they're so, like, full of mirth and happiness, but also, like, what's this story about making people dance until they die? That one is really dark.
Yeah, that one's actually every fall. That's just the fall. That's like the Autumn Fest.
Like, in this one, they dance so long that the skin on the bottom of their feet wears off and they wear down their bones.
In one of them, we grant a dude a wish, and he wishes for wealth, and so we bring him into beneath the barrow so that he gets the wealth and dress him in robes, and he's got all this finery, and then he leaves to find that his family and everyone he's ever loved have died because he's been 10 minutes under the barrow was 100 years in the real world.
I thought you were going to do he wants infinite wealth, and you just literally put him under like a pile of infinite wealth and he's crushed to death, but that one's good too.
That one's also good.
He'd die. Like, that's not how Fae work.
That's fair.
Unseelie Fae are
it's
really,
not cruel
really
enough.
Awful. Yeah, it's not cruel enough.
A
Unseelie
lesson
Fae
needs
are,
to be
like,
taught before the
masters
death.
of cruelty.
Yeah.
The Seelie Fae are nice, honestly, but the Unseelie Fae are a bunch of bastards.
Rain disagrees strongly.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on if we're playing by folklore
That's
rules
silly
or,
propaganda. That's silly
Well, I mean,
propaganda.
Rain is Unseelie. You're
I
Seelie,
know,
so
I
that's
know,
why
but you
it
don't
works.
behave like an Unseelie Fae. You totally behave like a Seelie Fae. You're not nearly cruel enough for Unseelie, like folklore Unseelie. If we're playing by
if you
other
were
rules.
playing with us in Eternal, you would feel differently.
I'm just saying, folklore, the Seelie Fae are like masters of horrific physical and psychological cruelty.
It's true. I
Whereas
love Fae folklore.
Think about Rain from the perspective of anyone we've met that's not in the party.
What do you mean?
Psychic damage all the time, like Iron Maiden,
Right, but
doing
only
all that.
against,
That's pretty
only
cruel.
against their. I mean, it's on theme, it's on brand, but I mean,
Rain is
Unseelie
not
Fae just
Rain is not a fairy,
delight
though.
in cruelty. Yeah.
She's not capricious. Like
yeah,
I'm using the
capricious,
expanded
vindictive,
definition of Fae for Rain.
unimaginable cruelty is like just the way that's living and breathing for Unseelie in certain folklore. Although apparently a bunch of those distinctions were invented in a particular book that everyone just kind of decided to use, and then that percolated elsewhere. The actual folklore itself is a lot more complicated.
Well, we will have our own brand of Auralian Fae folklore to discover soon, but not before Akashaba gets his steak back at Borealis Tavern. I have it ready.
Steaks, plural.
My favorite thing about Fae is that, like, Flix could wax poetic about how it all works, and it could all be total bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And Flix could have been lying or just wrong, and that's just how Fae are, and it's good.
I like I kind of like this burgeoning I don't know, rivalry between like Thorn and Bonsai, like both of them being like paladins. One of them is like, I defend Arctis by killing the demons, and Bonsai is like, I am proof that you are fucking up and I am here to fix your failures. Like I like that.
But they should be friends.
Thorn's like, I'm so excited, another demon hunter. And Sai's like, you done fucked up, kid.
Yeah, it's like, actually, a warden of the land, like, actually fucking save me instead and purge the corruption from my body because you didn't find this in time. Like, you done fucked up. Nature took care of this, not the light. So, that's a different, yeah, it's like nature paladin versus light paladin. It's like, how do we purge the evil? Well, clearly we absorb it through our roots, send it through a bunch of purification systems, and expel it like carbon dioxide. Thorn's like, that's fucking stupid. Just put the light on it until it is destroyed. So,
I mean, Bonsai was pretty convinced after the conversation below that use of magic and basically everything that the society is doing is what's causing all the issues.
Arctis is a heavily magical landscape with magical tools that were given by Arctis himself to help the populace kind of evolve. That's like, here is my gift of magic to you. And then that's the boring
We figured out
insurance.
if Arctis is infallible. Arctis could have just sabotaged themselves.
All of this is literally why we have to go to the ice library so we can figure this shit out.
Right,
and
like
stop guessing.
that is the question. Like, right? So that is the purpose of the Great Ice Library. So now we've come full circle on like the story. So I'm actually glad we kind of did this session, because it's starting to unfurl. It's nice.
Yeah, thanks for going through it all again. Sorry if I made you do that.
No, not at all. I think it was far past time we did a little bit of a kind of an overall recap and introduce like these characters and situations, and Shar being your quartermaster and taking care of all of your stuff, and and then Thorn, obviously you have a bit of a complicated and amusing relationship with her, but a shape-shifting changeling hunter of devils is good to have around, especially if you are running into a lot of devil-like trouble often.
Correct. Have we run into devil-like trouble often? We have one big devil that's a problem.
We fought a bunch of devils,
like
/
Vanix.
demons with Lycaris.
Yep.
Styx, like there was like devils in House Styx, and also like devil rituals made like the sentient swords, the dancing swords.
A lot of blood magic,
stuff.
which is very strongly tied to like demons in the Nine Hells, because it's also tied to like soul magic and giving up a part of your like life essence for something else that wants to consume it. Like, it is considered very taboo. Blood magic is also considered very powerful because of the sacrifice it takes to perform it. Lets you get away with a lot of cheating at the cost of, like, say, your life or your existence.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I need radiant crossbow bolts, please. Do we have any weapons that do radiant that I can Zorch? I need it.
There's a list of bolts. I literally sent Christina like the notes that we had put together like ages ago, and I feel like there's something that does radiant damage.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look.
Please.
I'll take a look at the quiver. We'll see if we can get you some radiant bolts.
Oh, it would make me so happy.
It was also based off of like the shit we had from like 3 months ago, so we might have got new shit to make.
I know that we actually burned items and removed them from the inventory when we did all of that stuff.
We didn't
remember what.
I don't think they actually got destroyed. I kept a couple ones that are on the list. Christina needs to review the bolt list and actually do final balancing, I think, still. So
cool. I don't want to.
Yeah, there's the thing that I sent you, the notes.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bunch of things that we could melt down into bolts and some proposals on maybe how to balance, because like they're permanent items, so like they can't do necessarily exactly what they do. They need to be balanced a little bit.
I will figure that out as well. Make up that magical item over the weekend. But yeah, the session was good. A lot of good information and lore. And otherwise kind of figuring out where to go from here, but we will open next time closer to Borealis, most likely at the airship dock in Borealis, with some crew dropped off, some crew retained, and dreams of steak in your minds. Sound good?
And dreams of weddings, apparently.
Yeah, dreams of weddings, yeah. That's a whole nother bag of worms, but thank you guys for playing with me today.
Yeah, thanks for the game.
Yay.
Thank you for all the work that you put into making this world rich and fun to exist in.
Oh, thank you. That's a very nice thing to say. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. I will lie awake in bed and be like, yeah. But also I have
I see you is what I'm saying.
Ooh-wee. I'm also looking forward to Friday because I have a big Eldritch God battle I need to throw at the Reflection crew, so that'll be fun.
Oh, are they growing up out of the Animal Crossing? Are they officially getting into their Dark Souls?
Yeah, they're getting the terror from the depths, the eldritch,
lovely.
eldritch Sahagin god. So that's good.
The Kamos crew has somehow managed to stubbornly and stalwartly refuse to actually engage in any of your bullshit for so long. We're just
Wait. What do you mean? What bullshit? What are you talking about?
So you know how we joke that like Christina starts everybody out in Animal Crossing and then drags them into Dark Souls?
Yeah.
The
You guys
Kamos
have just
crew literally just goes
clawed
like,
your fingers into Animal Crossing and refuse to let go.
no, like Christina's like, here's this heroic thing for you guys to do, this like super important narrative plot point. We're just like literally 180, walk the other direction and go do something completely fucking
And
different.
I'm like, where are you guys going? The plot
We've
is
done it now
over here.
like 4 times.
And I'm like,
It's so great. We have like a nesting list of like quest log stuff that like as we get deeper into it, we just get further and further away.
the Ascended crew is like playing an MMO, and they're like only following the MSQ. And then Kamos is fucking chaos. They don't do the MSQ. They level all their crafting classes first, and then they go only level through side quests.
I love it. That's
them.
Fucking great. Huh.
And then the Reflection crew are just so pure, and I just cannot wait to break them.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty pure. We're pure, right? Are we pure?
The Ascended crew?
What?
We're pretty heroic. We were definitely not pure.
Okay, that's true.
No, I actually, I got their, like, unfortunately, their cleric on the floor 2 death saves in, like, precipice of death. And I'm like, oh shit, are we gonna actually have, like, a legit player kill? Barely dodged it. So there was that tension there. And I like that. I like that
You mean like
he
the
was on
one
the
time that
precipice of
you
death.
one-shot the Kamos cleric?
I mean, that was hilarious. But there was also
hilarious.
like options because of the presence of the umbrellans, so. But I mean, that just went ass up in every possible regard.
Yeah, it really did.
It really like the
And
whole
like it
surprise
wasn't even a
round-
bad plan. It wasn't even a bad initiation. It was a
No.
good plan. It just the dice were not with us at all.
It was like, oh, fall over a table. Oh, all right. Initiative 1. Miss first attack. Like, what is happening? Yeah, that was just... Nothing was working for you guys. But it was still hilarious. Because it got to kind of, like, fast forward you to potentially, like, introducing the ethereal. Although I wasn't... Okay, what actually caught me off guard was Akashiba fucking pulling out the astral. And I'm, like, looking through my maps, like... Oh fuck, do I have an astral? Fuck. Like, do I have one right now? And I'm like, I do.
I mean, I sent you a bunch.
Oh, no, but I, like, you have to load them into the VTT and give them
Yeah,
lighting,
I
and,
know.
like, that takes time. I'm like, do I have one right now? And I had one, I think, if I zoomed out really far, it was, like, shaped like a hand. So I'm gonna run with that.
Weird.
Yeah, it was like a space island shaped like a hand. I'm gonna think about that for a while.
All right, friends. I'm gonna depart. I will talk to you next week.
All right, sounds
Yeah,
good.
have a good night,
I will see you
everybody.
all. Good night,
Night,
good night.
nerds.
See you next week.
Thanks,
Bye.
Christina.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, that's it. We're ascended. Thank you. Whoa, offline. Whoa. Thanks for watching. Greatly appreciate it. You can catch our VODs over on YouTube and watch us live on Twitch, and you can catch our shorts and funny moments over on Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for watching, and thanks for following the story. This one, a little more conversation, a little more lore heavy. Bonsai learning his place in the world, and everybody reuniting with some of the more flavorful cast from very early in the season. To kind of go over our friend Esther, once a player character, now beloved NPC and captain and pilot of the Audacity. and other friends they have picked up from early on in the campaign, helping them along their adventures. Char, a sorceress who has dedicated her life to the study of magical ley lines. Or the orc Grun, who has escaped a terrible fate after dissenting with the elders of his people. And the very dangerous Thorn, a changeling who can assume any form in her hunt for demons. I am interested in seeing how the rest of this crew pans out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.